A bit of Fusion 360, the hashtag AutoCAD sponsored streams in the near future. Hello, YouTubers. I don't have a video preview yet. I assume you're here. I'll assume by like scent that you guys are here. I got Julian coming in tomorrow. We're gonna do synthesizer stuff. Obviously, he's got some broken things. Never a day goes by when these synthesizer guys don't break some of their own equipment for some reason. They're always breaking their stuff. I don't understand it at all. But anyway, so Julian has a bunch of broken stuff that he wants to bring over here. And then maybe we can spend a little bit of time getting my own very lightweight synthesizer setup making noises, or he's just going to noodle around on his own equipment. The thing is, I don't have space for him right now. The whole table where Julian and Dave would do their synthesizer stuff is around the corner over there. So if I were to have them in, I need a little bit more notice than I got this time. And, you know, obviously clean up some of this stuff. And then this whole thing can wheel out of the shop and the table can wheel back in. I'm trying to make it easy for myself. But right now, this stuff is a little bit too prevalent. So for tomorrow, I'm going to clean off the bench a little bit. We'll probably move this over to a bin. I don't want to let this get too far away from me, though. But yeah, we're going to move this away, and then I'll have the whole bench, and I can work on some of the stuff. So we need to make some progress today. I need to get some stuff done on this. I definitely need to get the rest of the controls printing out to a serial feed on demand. So it doesn't print anything until you move the control, and then it prints. That's CAN bus, or it's going to be CAN bus. It'll directly translate. So we need encoder right, and we need encoder left ticks. I don't know if it should be a number of ticks or if it should just send a CAN bus signal every tick. I don't know what the speeds are going to be like. And then the eight remaining buttons in an array, in a matrix, need to be catered for. So that's basically 2 libraries. I already found the libraries. I downloaded them so things would go a little bit more smoothly. And all I need to do is get that into the code. So that's our second task today. But this thing is infinitely fascinating. Look at this. So this is an early 2000s VW lock cylinder. Basically, this locks down your steering wheel. It's got 2 giant like M8 bolts that bolted in vertically. This is the switch, and I think it is just a dumb switch. It's not a CAN bus accessory. This whole thing was like 26 bucks, I think. 26. We've got 2 leads that go to this piece. I don't know what that does. I think it charges the key. I don't know if it reads a code from the key, but it is its own little system that was tagged on to everything else. The lock is utterly fascinating. Key goes in. You go to the first position, the accessory position, and it unlocks the wheel. Start is temporary, and it's very visceral. This is like a big thing. And then you can go back to accessory, or wait, you're in accessory after that. So then you turn the car off. So that's off. What is that dot on my finger? Weird. Where'd that come from? You're still unlocked. When you pull the key out, this thing pops back up. How cool is that? So basically there would be a bunch of splines on the steering shaft, and when the spline is blocking this, it won't do anything. But if you move the wheel, you get that click, and now the splines are blocking the wheel from turning. I don't know if the Mercedes has that. I actually do know. I know the Mercedes steering column has that, but it's in the back of the column. It's not up where the lock cylinder is. So I don't know what to do about that. There's also some weird thing on the side of this where something fits in, and I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's all about. You can see some mechanism moving when you do that, but oh, I like this song. I like this song. This is the best of the inoffensive, soft rock, elevator music. My old key. My old switchblade key. Super cool. Whoosh. It won't work. So we got to get the cylinder out of here, and we got to check out how it works and figure out if we can modify it to just accept anything, because it would be also very, very funny. Hold on one sec. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it. If my third key would also fit. Let me get my third key. Okay, I'm tangled. Mike is tangled. Where is that giant? I don't know if I have that anymore. Ah, it's actually getting cold in here. I had to open a bunch of windows because it's spring. I guess we'll use the little one. I used to have a big, what happened to that? I had a big flathead back here. Must have used it for something. That's probably in a weird spot. Anyway, my third key, I would also like to work in this system without destroying it. My third key, flathead screwdriver. I want that to be able to turn it too. So we basically just want to fully disarm this thing. The only thing is, when you get this to a certain position, you can't remove the key. So that's another feature of the lock that I think might go away if I make it just not care about what key's in there. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what we can do. How's everybody doing? I know I started a little bit early. I was just kind of floating. So I decided to get started early so that we can actually get through some of this stuff. I'm going to intro for just a little bit longer, and then we'll get started. It's probably going to be a pretty quiet stream today, but at least I get to get stuff done that I wanted to get done. This lock cylinder is beyond perfect. I was going to buy some other, like a tractor starter, because here's the thing. I don't need this on the simulator setup, but my summer car has the inputs for a key, and I think it would be supremely funny if I have an actual key for the simulator that I can hook up and I can give it like a button input, so it feels like a real car. Wow, I can finally buy viewers. What an amazing first time chat. I'm so glad to have shared. And 15 viewers is apparently a sweet spot for the purchase viewers bots. They'll never be able to touch how many YouTube viewers I have, though. Absolutely epic YouTube viewers. Look at that. Amazing metrics. I don't think it needs to refresh as often as it does. YouTube has it refreshing way too much. I mean, I don't need to know second by second how many viewers I have, but I guess it's good information. Look at that go. Woo. Oh yeah, I need to open up the chat. Hold on, let's get the chat opened up. This is it. Make no mistake. This is like wedding music, or it used to be. Auto find and activate. There we go. And then I guess the old one can go away. How do I get rid of it? I think it's that, and then I remove. Yeah, and this one's still open. Cool. Now all of those YouTube viewers can also chat. It's a very dangerous situation, you guys. What is that? Hold on, I gotta open that in a place where I can actually see the emote. Oh, the hyper hex. I remember those. Those are fairly recently. It was just a promotion with a company. I guess you can pay Twitch to have your own emotes as the random gift sub-train emotes. The game lasted a week. I don't think I recall a single person playing that in the circles that I hang out in. Make no mistake. Try to push this stuff to the left here. To the right, rather. Ah! Okay. Pin headers, you go in there. Wires, you go in there. We got some fun stuff today. This is going to be an interesting thing. I'm not going to need this crash structured U-joint. What am I ever going to do with this? Sarcasm deleted. I don't, it's probably an okay game. It's just, why'd you pay Twitch to have emotes made? Now it's in perpetuity. You're going to have these weird emotes. I guess I never know. I often don't know. What don't I know? It's a familiar sensation, indeed. What am I going to do with these? I don't think I'm going to need any of these. Now that I've worked out how to do what I want to do with the motor, I don't think I need any of these. I think all I need is a pivot bar to hang the motor from, or just hang it to the rails that are right next to it. with some thrust bearings on that so that it can't turn this way and it can only move this way. That's all I need. Of course, then the weight of the motor on that pivot, I needed to rest neutrally, because when that thing moves back and forth, I don't want the motor to move with it. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I'm thinking about right now in terms of mounting the motor to the rest of the sim setup. But I don't need these anymore. These things were so that you could have a U-joint in your steering and then another U-joint to go in the rack, and then you had an expansion here so that when the steering thing moved, this would go with that pivot. Mercedes. I don't know what they're smoking over there in Bavaria. Some of that Bavarian Kush. Strong stuff. Genetically modified. Turbo German weed. They're probably all sober, but it just seems like an overly complicated situation. I'm going to make a little bit of... I'm going to make a little bit of space for me to exist. And then we'll get started. Just because I'm already live on YouTube, and YouTubers don't really like the intro. They don't know what it is. I don't know what goes on over on YouTube live streaming. I don't really use it. I don't know what kind of hedonistic bullshit's going on over there. Heathens. You cannot create space, you can only rearrange it. All right, well, that's true. Especially in a workshop. Any open space facing the sky gets filled. It's like a law of physics. I thought YouTube was for only short form video now. I know, right? What is going on with that? Because, okay, you've got short form video, right? And they said, let's put all the short form video over here, because all the kids love it, and they're all doing those little videos that take like a half a second to watch, and that's fine. Let's make their own section. So they get their own section. But then in addition to that own section, they have tacked on live streaming, which is not short form by any means. So you just have somebody carrying their phone around in selfie mode with their chat up there scrolling by, and they get thousands of viewers, but it's not short form. It's like the direct opposite. I don't get it, man. Unironically, it was just to cut the revenue people could earn. It ruined most people's income. Yeah, it seems like it did. I mean, it's like YouTube had a pretty good payout, didn't it? I never got the YouTube stuff rolling. I'm sad about that, but you know, I tried. I posted my VODs. I had a daily 5-hour video, but I just wasn't cool enough to get a lot of viewers on that. And that was for the VODs that went back to the end of the board, which was several years ago. That was like 5 years ago. Holy shit. I got to get Burn the Subs running, man. It's kind of become a meme. It kind of became a meme years ago. Not to say that I haven't worked on it and done plenty of streams on it. The revenue share was like 1/100th. Man. I never had stuff that was popular enough for me to worry about those things. Yep. We're just out here slumming it. More than a woman, more than a woman. All right, that's digging us out a little bit there. Gets us a little bit more space. Not trying to take on the lockpicking lawyer, but that's essentially what we're going to start with here. Hey, what's up, Smith Clay? When was the OG Burn the Subs? Yeah, it ended in like 2020. I remember the Santa Beards username. Yeah, that one's still fresh in my memory. Indeed. Covetous Worm. Yeah, it's been an age. I got to bring it back. When I bring it back, I need to make a bid for the front page of Twitch so that I can get a ton of viewers. I think it's my only way to get my name out there at this point, because I am too old in all of the algorithms. I'm not a new and up and coming channel by any means. on any platform unless I sign up for Kick. But I'm not punching old ladies and stuff, so I'm not going to get popular on Kick or however you do it over there. I think you need to be disgraced from Twitch in order to go over there, so I'm not exactly champing at the bit for that one. Is this what a clean desk looks like? Well, I mean, no, but there's room for me to think. Seems like you have a mental block against Burn the Subs, more focused on MIDI and sim. I want to do modular synthesizers because longer than I've promised to you guys to have Burn the Subs running again, I have had a promise to Julian to do a synthesizer, to build a synthesizer, and I still haven't done that. All of the modular synthesizer stuff was so that I could absorb the knowledge of modular synthesizers, and I achieved my goal. I still don't have, well, I think I have a fully working modular synth. We have a couple modules to kind of work on there. Burn the Subs was not supposed to be the whole channel, and it became the whole channel, and I don't like that. So I put it aside, and we worked on it a little bit, and I did a lot of 3D modeling and 3D printing in order to make it the best I can. So we are going to get back to that. That is a guarantee. I have never gone back on a guarantee to you guys. I don't know if you know that about me. It's just things pan out in a longer timeline on this channel because we actually do engineering. We actually try to build things that we're proud of. Not, for instance, a toilet that is in fact a loudspeaker, which is funny and I love it, but that's not me. You go watch another channel if you want that. We will get Burn the Subs back. I don't know about automating the filming of Burn the Subs burning. BTS was too powerful. It was a major namesake in this channel, and so you know, I have to get it back. But I had a standing promise with Julian for, you know, more than 20 years that I would build him a synthesizer, and so I learned a lot of synthesizer stuff. In addition to that, in the background, I had been working on the simulator setup, and we got it working. And now it's just kind of turned a corner, and it's taking a new height. It's got a new form to fill, and that form will involve a lot of the other simulator stuff that I had been accumulating over a lifetime. You know, this is not my first day doing this stuff, and so Burn the Subs not getting worked on is just a matter of what I'm prioritizing in this channel. It's just not, I want to get it out of the primary DNA of the channel. It will come back, and it will come back with thousands of viewers, but until then, I wanted to get some of my other goals done. So, and I've got, you know, we've got most of Burn the Subs there. All of the hardware is there, all the hardware that I want it to be. The thing is, like, the Clipper API, are we still going to use Clipper API? Maybe I should be looking at Mainsail. What is Mainsail? All the software stuff is really getting frustrating to me, because it is this ever-changing landscape of tools. And if I choose the tools that I use now, by the time I get it running, they're going to be completely different. So it's this weird thing with 3D printers. I still think the Clipper API is probably the way to go. So we have the Raspberry Pi, that's monitoring WebSockets. The file server is doing all the Node-RED stuff. And again, you know, why haven't you worked on Burn the Subs for a while? Well, just because I'm not crimping wires doesn't mean I haven't been working on Burn the Subs. This is the first step in a major change in the way that things work around here. And so doing a little bit of the Node-RED Twitch API stuff means that now I won't have individual devices that have individual API keys. I have Node-RED that handles everything, right? And that can notify me of stuff. It can turn on Burn the Subs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So now that we've learned that, I did a little bit of stuff with synthesizers. I did a little bit of stuff with the sim pit. And so I can wrap it back in to Burn the Subs again now. Now I have this part of the puzzle. That part is going to communicate to the Raspberry Pi that's also going to be running Clipper. So the Raspberry Pi has less to do, but it has more to do at the same time. That will take the sub name. I think Node-RED will check for profanity or repeated entries. I'm not sure about that yet. Another thing was, I was in part waiting for the Twitch API to put it in a unique identifier for each transaction, but they never went around and did that. They did it for channel points, which is hilarious because channel points is so much lower stakes. They're not actually channel points. There's no actual monetary, money isn't swapping hands. Whereas with a subscriber, money is changing hands. And yet in that API call or the return from the API and all that XML that we have, JSON, all that JSON return that we have, we weren't able to find anything akin to a unique identifier, which is what I need to store in my database to make sure that I don't burn multiple names, because we have kind of a finality to what we do. Erasing it is a major pain in the butt, and Twitch users have figured out ways to get around that and double dip. So to prevent double dipping with channel points on Twitch, they implemented a unique hexadecimal identifier, a key for each channel point transaction. Why are channel points more secure than subscribing? Ugh, drives me nuts. Well, channel points, I mean, I guess, yeah, you can earn channel points by subbing and stuff too, so technically it could represent money. Having Node-RED set up for that is a huge step. Yeah, it really is, because then I can spin out individual devices that are interactive. And so we tried to make something that would flick a little plastic emote at me. We can come back to that at some point. And then also the money gun that's going to sit between these two monitors pointed at my head for any large donation. I want to have this thing without the trigger on it, able to be activated and just throw money at me. This is very cheap, these money guns. It's literally just a thing that advances a dollar bill towards you. Willow is barking at people outside, and it is driving me nuts. She for some reason, she's barking her head off at people looking at the house next door. Yeah, the money gun is going to be supremely funny. It's going to be expensive, though. I mean, I've got to make it like $30, right? It's got to be like a big donation or something, because I've got to then play 52 pickup. And so if people are hammering it again and again and again, that's going to be a problem, because I won't be able to honor all of the things. So having it do like a little burst would be good. It's not that controllable because it's literally just a motor, so it'll send multiple dollar bills out at once. But I think it'll be very funny. I think it'll be very funny. I also have to consider how much money I make off of these things, because I can get kicked off of my health insurance if I make too much money, which is fun. It's fun. Every doctor I've ever had says, once you get on if you get on this, don't get off of it. Like, oh, okay. Anyway, hello YouTubers, how's it going? We've been scooping up parts for my sim setup. That was my burn the subs rant to my one YouTube viewer and whoever else views it on demand. I'm gonna fade out the music very subtly. It just stopped. Yeah, the money gun is, we were talking about chat interactivity, and most of that revolves around Twitch. The YouTube API works on a token system, and so you spend tokens in order to do API stuff, which means that I'm not going to be doing as much interactivity with YouTube. I wish I could. I would love to do it. I don't have the viewers there. They're not accumulating there. So YouTube is literally just a dumping ground for all of my electronic waste. Into a distributed server goes all of my information, and it just kind of dissolves into the swirling miasma of data that is the internet. And Google goes, yes, good, because sometime in the year 3022, somebody's going to say, hey, how do I get this like ancient Arduino to work? And I pop up and I go, hey, help me. My life is a swirling, painful miasma of data, and I don't know right from left. And they go, can you redo the AI? And then I'll, I don't know, Michael Reeves will pop up and he'll be perfectly simulated. But just for that 1 second, I will remain an entity on this planet. Anyway, I'm just talking about how Google's going to use all of my old streams to simulate me and do things badly. But yeah, the Twitch API is much easier to use, so we're going to use the Twitch API, and eventually I will have interactive stuff. So you donate $50, I don't know, and it'll squirt some money out at me. And then all of that stuff is, of course, steaming us ahead towards Burn the Subs coming back. Burn the Subs, but how do I get out of the way? Burn the Subs, the board on the wall. that burns the name of subscribers onto itself, Twitch subscribers. And it was sort of the claim to fame of this channel. It's the whole reason I was able to partner back during the pandemic and all that stuff. So what we're working on today, though, will also use that interactive layer system from Node-RED, which is pretty cool, using the Twitch API. It's the reason why we bought a Mercedes steering column. It's the reason why I pressured my older brother into giving me a car seat. Not like a booster seat, like an actual car, like a seat out of a car. This is out of an F10, a 2010s era BMW 5 Series. What luxury. It's the sport model, so it's the worst one. It's not the luxury one that has like massagers and stuff in it, but it adjusts laterally and tilt and the height of that thing, and it's got a little inflatable thing for the lumbar support. So this seat is actually more intelligent than the seat in my current BMW. Although actually, I think the current BMW, I think the seats have exactly the same adjustments. Anyway, there's a little control panel on the side where I can control all those things, but it also speaks CAN bus. So if we get everybody speaking CAN bus, all of my simulator stuff speaking CAN bus, then I can actually, well, if we get it all speaking CAN bus and I get CAN bus on Node-RED on this Raspberry Pi here, the whole simulator setup, the Twitch API interactions, they can talk to each other. And so I can have chat move my steering wheel around while I'm trying to drive, which I think is very funny. If you'll notice, though, we seem to have taken a turn towards the lock-picking lawyer. I have here the locking cylinder from an early 2000s VW / Audi / all that conglomerate of companies, maybe Lamborghini. It's pretty cool. I was looking on eBay the other day. Channel points equals southpaw in the middle of the game, or invert steering, or suddenly I'm steering molasses, like with the force feedback in that mix, because the OpenFFB board speaks CAN bus. So we get all my Granite device stuff moved over to OpenFFB, so the force feedback can be in the hands of chat. My seating position can be in the hands of chat. The seat heater and steering wheel heater and steering wheel buttons and the gear that I'm in, everything, we can have little gremlins messing around with it. I got to get it all working first, but once it's all working, you know I'm going to be giving you guys stuff to mess with. And I might have to be careful because it'll be too much stuff. Yeah, I was talking to my brother about it, and he's like, you probably shouldn't put your thumbs in the wheel when you're using this. I'm like, listen, it's a 2 horsepower motor. In the right conditions, it could probably dislocate a finger, but I don't think it's all that dangerous. I'm gonna play it up like it is. I'm gonna play it up like it is. You know I will. That's just the showman in me. That's me being, yeah, at some point you got to be a Twitch streamer and you just have to do things that are fun or weird or stupid. I very much enjoy suddenly being a buffoon, right? This would be the driest, boringest, stupidest channel on Twitch if I didn't do that a little bit, right? I mean, we've got kind of the rustic presentation here, and we know that we do more cerebral stuff, but we also have 5 viewers on this channel, so I need to do a little bit more buffoonery, to be honest. But anyway, so the whole thing, I want to give you guys the ability to kind of monkey around with the car setup, because I think it would be funnier if we allow that, and I think it's fun for certain streamers to do. Maybe it'll get us viewers. I don't know. It's like everything I do, these other YouTubers do and get 1 billion views, and I don't. So anyway, so I was perusing eBay, trying to get in a better mood. I was retail therapy. So perusing eBay, looking around, seeing what kind of stuff I could get. And one of the things that we've been trying to figure out is what key lock is going to be like. What the key lock is going to be like on the car. I could have used my old VW key and 3D printed something around it that just hit switches, right? That doesn't seem too in line with sort of the DNA of this project. This project is more about getting real car parts to do car part stuff for my fake car. So what I've done is I've looked around on eBay, and we found a bunch of different tractor key switch systems where you have sort of these dinky little keys and you put it directly into the switch. You could do that. That's fine. till you add a real engine. I mean, it's got a real motor. It's got a real electric motor. But yeah, we're essentially building a car that's one of these mutant cars that's built out of a bunch of different cars. But it's not a car. It's like plugging your RC remote into the computer, which, you know, they do that now. But anyway, so instead of getting it from a tractor, I can get it cheaper if I buy a whole lock cylinder off of eBay. And this is new. It's OE. It's probably not OEM. But it's enough for my purposes. It feels exactly like, I mean, this is like the best fidget toy. This thing feels just like a real car starter. And it's got these giant, I think M8, this might be M10, M8 bolts that it'll bolts to. So I need to make some kind of a collar that goes around the Mercedes column. The Mercedes column does not have a splined thing on the wheel. It does. It does. Hold on. This does have a splined locking mechanism, and it is inside of this box right here, which is at the back of the column. It's not up there with the wheel. This little area right here would have been perfect to modify if I wanted the key switch to be here, but I don't. It's this little, like, neat little box, and inside of it you can see the steering shaft, and the steering shaft has just these vertical paddles on it. It's literally just, you know, the steering shaft and then these little vertical things around. And it looks like it's the exact mechanism to get caught by this thing. Because when you leave your car, if one of those columns is sitting, you know, right above this thing, it doesn't spring up and your wheel can still move. But if you move the wheel enough, click, and now you're stuck between two of the things. Those will push horizontally against this. So that seems like it is exactly for that type of mechanism. But the Mercedes column has that mechanism back in the wheel. I don't understand. Maybe they moved it back so that it wasn't as easy to, like, boost. Because if you rip this stuff off of the steering wheel, maybe you could stick something in there and push this down. It doesn't push down all the way until you put the key in position 1. So I don't have 2 positions on this. I don't have 2 positions, but we've got that exact right feel for the starter where you have to put a little oomph into it. It captures the key. And then we have the on position. Hold on, that's there. This is the on position. So, and then off is there, and that allows you to remove the key. Check this out. Pop. So it's not until the key is all the way out that this thing pops back up. Mechanically, this thing has to be extremely fascinating. On the back of it, because it's an early 2000s car, this likely is just a bunch of switches to ground. It looks like we have a certain number of pins on this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If there is oh, look at that. Wait, I can see inside the mechanism. Wait, what happens when I turn the key? Oh, it turns. It's literally just a switch pad. That is hilarious. So without the electronic locking doodads over here, because there's this thing, literally just an add-on to the key. It's a 2-pin device. I'm thinking this just recharges the key. And when the key goes into recharging, it probably communicates with the car to say, hey, here's my secret code. There's that plastic thing on the key. I don't know if that's involved. I don't know what that is. I think it's just them being cheap. This is probably from like a Skoda design. Oh yeah, and then you can also see something happening in there too. I do not know what that would be for. Or if it's to, like, capture it to more of the car. I don't know. It's a weird little hole in this thing. But so yeah. There's start, on, maybe off, and then key removed? I don't know. That's more pins than I think, so. Keys don't really recharge. Yes, they do. At least this one might not. This one might not. But in the E46 BMW and beyond, they actually have a recharging coil. It's like a component on a board, but it actually does recharge when you're in the on position. It recharges your key. VWs sure don't. Yeah, this one might be out of batteries. How do you take this key apart? Oh, this does have an LED, so yeah. Yeah, the remotes that don't have LEDs, I think, are rechargeable. This one has an LED to tell you whether or not your remote works. And mine doesn't. This thing's out of batteries. This comes apart though, and I could put a battery in it because you know the first thing people are going to do is want to have the car go whook whook, or have the simulator setup go whook whook when you hit the button. But yeah, so it fits my key, but it doesn't work. So the thing is, you can get more torque on your VW key, by the way, if you put it into this position. You can also break it much easier. I want to be able to use the cool switchblade key, because it's a cool switchblade key. Say, hey man, you want to play a car game? and then everyone is turned on. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I would love to be able to use this. So we got to boost my car. We got to break into this car. All kinds of cool features on this. But what I'm hoping is, and I think it's the case, this is just a very rudimentary switch, and all we have to do is wire up to it. And then I've got a complicated locking mechanism that I got to mount to the Mercedes wheel. I don't think the security thing will work. It would have been funny if it would go clunk, and it would capture the wheel and keep it from spinning. But I don't think the Mercedes has moved the security more inboard than VW. So what we need to do is we need to get this cylinder out of here. And I know how to do it. I looked it up. I had to. But this will work very, very well with the simulator because I'll have this big chunky lock that I can do this with. Why would you do this, Bother? It's just a sim. Well, I'll tell you something, man. There are buttons that you can assign in my summer car for the key and for starting. Actually, my winter car. My summer car has it assignable, but it's not in the game. It's in the main menu, like the pop-up that comes up before the game. Not in-game. In-game you can't assign it, but there's like an Unreal pop-up thing where you can get into the settings, and it has those settings for like a starter button. Anyway, it'll be funny to be able to put that in certain games and certain simulators. And if we can make this lock not secure, then I can also use my third key and just have that spin the barrel. VW connects between the instrument cluster ECU and the key itself. No separate module unless you have Kissy. Okay. I'm going to take this piece by piece and we're going to learn it instead of being told it. Yeah, that's the old school. This is the universal key. Because if you have a master lock, you can hit it, and that'll unlock that. And this will get all the other things. Yeah. And your security screwdriver bits. Okay, so in order to boost this car, I need something akin to a paperclip. I don't know if I have paper clips in here. The way I organized all of my office supplies. You guys aren't allowed to see this bin. This is the top drawer right over here by my leg. I do have some stickers. I probably should have put those up on an online store. Those were done by Twisted Sister in chat. He got a 2D printer going with a bunch of stickers and cutouts. It's pretty awesome. I use them as much as I can. I don't have enough that I don't think I shouldn't sell them. I haven't powered this thing up in an age. Is the battery bulging? Well, it seems okay. I should probably check out the battery on this thing. What do we have in there? Oh, Wind Waker. No, not Wind Waker. Ocarina of Time. Duh. I never got too far with Ocarina. Ocarina, which is how Rich Evans pronounces Ocarina, because he had never heard anybody say the word. He had only read it. Which, you know what? Mispronouncing words is fine. Mispronouncing words is fine if you've only read the word and nobody's used it around you. Pronunciation can be tricky. I don't think I have anything... Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. These are the things that... These might not work. These might not work. Here's another idea. What if I just pay the lock? Hey, man, this is yours if you unlock. No, that's not doing it. That's not doing it. Usually that will solve the problem, but just didn't do it this time. Which is really a shame for it. That's a shame for it. They're too pricey? Oh, yeah. The 3DS is getting rare. Take care of it. Mine's not even an XL. Everything is getting more rare. Okay, I don't know if this will work versus a regular old paperclip, but let's just see. You can unlock a master lock with a stern look. You can literally just look up the code. So, in order to get the cylinder out of this lock, it has been described to me, it came to me in a dream, described to me as needing a paper clip. There's a little notch right there. So what we do, put the key in, put it into the on position, and that lines up that little notch with this little dot. Oh, you guys can't see it. If I get this on the first try. Or why doesn't chat tell me how to do it? We gotta see that little notch. We take it into the first position. Oh, cool! I've already scratched this. SD card prices went up like 100%. I used to buy new ones instead of trying to find old ones. They were always on sale. Oh, yeah. I need to. The last time I powered that thing up, there was still a store. What this is gonna do is there's a little offset. It's like a round piece like this with a hole in the front, and a little round piece is sprung up. So it's holding the cylinder in place, right? So I need to get that pin into that hole so it pulls it down. Just plug wires and voila, Violia. So I don't think this is forcing it down hard enough. Maybe it is. If I back it out a little bit. Oh, I just felt something. I finally felt something. Not quite. Okay. Yeah, this is where all the videos like don't actually pan out. Okay, so the trick that was in the video that I saw was to take the end of this. Yeah, listen, I am not the lockpicking lawyer. Everybody expects me to be. You do clever stuff. Maybe you're the lockpicking lawyer. Nope. Nope. I've tried my hand at many a lock type thing, and it's not really ever worked out. This might be too long, but the point is to get this in there, and then I can twist it. And when I twist it, it'll push down that whole pawl, P-A-W-L. Because I did feel it kind of working its way into that offset piece. We'll be able to see this once I get it out. Let's try twisting that a little. No, it's not cooperating. I'm definitely in the right position, right? Yeah. Try a smaller bend in the very end of the thing. Just like that. Got into lockpicking a few years ago, but never cars. I mean, their method of making a secure lock, I'm interested to see what the mechanical part of this is, because somehow this captures the key in there. You guys all know the code for my old car now, but basically you take an end mill and you just go along this thing, and somehow that creates your secure lock. This key will not open the lock. This one will. You can see how rough the end mill is. Jeez. Well, the OEM one is a lot less rough. Their tooling is getting a little soft. Everybody's doing lockpicking lawyer impressions. Yeah, I figure that's the way it would go. This is apparently connected to your VIN, your car's VIN. But, I mean, it looks kind of like we could almost modify it. I would cut a little bump up here, and that might do it. Or we alter something inside of the cylinder that'll do it. Did you want to just get a blank one? No, I just want to disable all of I mean, look, as much as I love, the feel of this is perfect, right? It doesn't need any security on it at all. So I don't need any of the tumblers in there. If we can get a match between the two, I could maybe take out the ones that I don't need. I don't know what this mechanism is going to look like, and that's part of the surprise of today. So please do not try to tell me that I can't do it. But I want to just take a look at the cylinder and see what the mechanism looks like and see whether or not we can affect some kind of change to it that would allow anything to spin the tumbler. Anything to spin the tumbler. And that way I could use a screwdriver if I feel especially boosty. So we take it into the first position. I enter my little weirdo tool. I enter the florpus. I don't know how far in I need to get it, probably about there. And then I need to twist it, and I don't know if well, let me just make it twistable. To try to pull down the thing that's holding it in. Nope. I do have other pin tools that I could try instead of this flimsy shirt paperclip. Yeah, that's not budging. We need to find something that's a little larger than this paperclip, which I think one of these will fit the bill. One of these clay working tools might be perfect for the task. It needs to be a little bit long on the flat section. I'm not going to use my pin tool. I don't want to damage that. But things like this are kind of perfect. Let's just flatten that out a little bit. Miss the days of open cylinder and just a repin. How about the days of just shorting a couple wires together? Nowadays, you need to have an electronic code. All right, let's try that. That I can spin a little bit more easily. I'm just sticking random stuff in holes today. Ooh, that bends too easily. Uh-oh. I don't want to lose metal inside of this thing. Obviously, push comes to shove. I could just use this as is, but I need you to get out of there. Come on. I don't know how easily this thing is supposed to move, too. I'll send you some lockpicks if you want them. No, thanks. I have lockpicks. I think they're in a drawer. All right, where's that other pin tool that I have? This one. This one should be a little stronger. Straighten that out. I think technically these are gauges. You're supposed to be gauging the size of a hole with these. Although this, I think, is mainly for putting details into sculpts. So to get the code for VW is not easy. You're going to have to have a connection with VW's Otis. Well, yeah, it's key lock is the... But I also don't have my VIN number anymore, so... I don't know, that doesn't feel like it's doing anything. I think it may need to be longer. How long does it need to be? Oh yeah, it needs to be just a little bit longer than this. Is this one longer? I have many things to throw at this. That's not even the right kind of thing. What even is that? There's like a standard for clay working tools, isn't there? Okay, let's put this over here. All right, so we're back to the shirt clips. These, I don't know what shirts I was buying. I think it was Joseph A. Banks or something. And they came with these little metal clips to hold the collar and stuff together while they were on the shelf. What up, Boris? We're getting my latent VW nerd together with my latent lockpicking nerd in order to get this perfect for simulator lock cylinder to work with the rest of the simulator setup. It's pretty cool, actually. Got 2 pins going to this thing. Don't know what that's for. We've got an entire switch bank on the back here, which is designed to go to the various functions. I have a functional lock that has an off position, an on position, and then a sprung start position with enough force to feel like a real car lock, because it is. And then, if I can work it into the rest of the system, and I don't think I can, there's a little locking pawl, P-A-W-L, so that if you have these vertical ribs on the steering column and you unlock your car and remove the key, the wheel will be movable a little bit until that thing pops up and then you can't move your steering wheel. That would be very funny if that were in effect on the real car. Problem is, the Mercedes steering column has that exact thing, but it's further in. So I don't know if I can get it right on the stock like this one does. To get the code for VW is not easy. You gotta have the VW Otis itself is a pain. Old verse fine, old V is fine, but after 2004 or so, it's hard. Then vehicles with KESI, keyless entry, it's basically dealership. Yeah, you have to do it through that unless you have all of the software tools, and the software tools are getting more exclusive to the dealerships. Yeah, rest in peace, Chuck Norris. I don't know. I don't know much about the guy, really. All I know is that there were tons and tons of memes back in the early 2000s and the late 2000s and the early 2010s, but I was never a huge Chuck Norris meme fan, really. That was one of the ones where I was like, okay, this is kind of funny, but then everybody went nuts. Yeah, 86 years old. Oh, wait a minute, that might have been it. You know, the YouTube videos make this look very easy indeed. I don't think so either, but the dude died yesterday. Oh, I see. It keeps going further back, but now it won't. So, but I still am not able to get a pull on anything here. When we're done with this, we will go back to programming where I can actually affect change. Where I actually am in control of stuff. Maybe we'll pull up the video on how to do this, because this looked a lot easier than they made it out to be. I mean, it looked as easy as they made it out to be, but it seems like it's harder than they made it out to be. There we go. That was the phrasing I was looking for. Wait, I just got it to go further back. How far into this thing is this going to go? That seems to be the limit. And then it would pull down on a little thing that would allow this to come out. Okay, so let's straighten that out. Let's put a little tiny bend in the very, very end of this thing so that it's a little lopsided. So that can push down on the internal piece. I think that might have been too much of a bend, but we'll try it again. You can always alter this very soft material. Yeah, that's too much. Too much. Just a little bit. See, the problem is I can put this bend in it all day, but I can't actually twist this. So I need a handle on the end. I would so be caught by now trying to boost somebody's car like this. They would have my ass dead to rights. Do it. Give me the thing. The problem is I can't twist this and pull on it at the same time. I think I need to like lock it down somehow. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If I could just push up against it. I got to reposition. I need the taller things on the stool so I can get my knee up here. There we go. There we go. Now I can pull while twisting. Pull, twist, 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 pull. Stir, whisk, 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 stir. Nope. Nope, get it out. Okay. Put a little bit less of a bend in it. Or just the bend at the very, very end. Although the ball end of this might also be hurting us. The little tiny ball end. Yeah, see, like that barely goes in, and I think it's getting stuck. That would be very annoying. Oh, okay, yeah, too much. Damn it. This just isn't working out. Maybe just that little bit. Ah, jeez. The guy made it look so easy. Nope. Okay, no bend. We're going back on the bend. We're not going to bend it anymore. No more bending. Because it does feel like it engages with something in there. Where is lockpicking, jerry-rig, everything lawyer? Yeah. Yeah. If I send this to the lockpicking lawyer, he will be like, he won't even get through one sentence before he'll have this thing done. Sorry, I'm just looking for the right focus. So supposedly, I mean, this is like the legitimate way that you're supposed to be getting this thing out of here. Because when this does engage, it should be, all right. That is not the sound of it unlocking. Okay, this positioning is not helping me. It's just, I can't pull back on the thing with that. So, let me just show you guys what I'm trying to do here. Mark 5. That was close. No, that's totally different. Oh, kind of similar. This is different though. He doesn't have the key in there. Drill a hole? No. Yeah, okay. What he just did, so there's a little like lever back here that's accessible from where we've been trying to get into it. It's basically the same thing, but for some reason they're advocating drilling a hole like here in order to push down on it, which is completely cheating. Yeah, we're trying to get into like here. That's probably why there's this here. That's probably to block you from drilling it out. Yeah, that's not a good way to do this. Really, you just need a paper clip. I just need to find the right paper clip. But you guys see what it is. It's just this little thing that is up, and once I poke the thing through, it'll push it down, and that gets it out of the way so that I can remove the cylinder. And it's only on one side. I can't believe that guy did it by drilling into it. What the heck? That's got me annoyed. That's got me annoyed. Oh, geez, this one's about to break. Okay, well, if that's long enough, I don't know if it is. Try. That, but then I don't have 3 hands, so he made that look so easy too. And then my tools are like, they're like bending and breaking. These aren't very strong. All right, what else do I have? Paper clips are out of the question. I don't have any paper clips. I don't know where they would be. I don't know what I would have done with paper clips. Thin tools, I should... Oh, you know what? Hex keys. What about this? It's Chinese quality metal. These things just kind of sit on the magnet hanger, and I've got tons of them in the drawer. I have smaller ones if I need to. Metal shims are a common lockpicking tool. Yeah, but metal shims, you'd have to get up and around this lip. This is also a security piece, huh? This one's way too big. Okay, let's find a smaller one. Where are my hex keys? I think is it that drawer? Yeah, it's that drawer. Okay. Get the whole drawer. Oh, wait, no, you know, they're up here. There we go. Okay. So, like, I've never been in this drawer. I really could just clean it out today. I could throw all of these out and I wouldn't miss them. Although we did need this the other day. I'll have to remember that's there. I don't think any of mine are thin enough. This might be. So make sure we're in the position. That's right. Okay. I mean, this thing for 26 bucks, this is awesome for the setup. I would advocate anybody who wants to run a sim setup, go and buy you a real car lock from the early 2000s. Okay, so this is exactly the size of the chamber that it's going through. Oh, I could feel it. I could feel the spring. I felt it. I felt it. I felt the spring. I felt the spring. It felt like it went up into a thing. Maybe this is pulling it back. I don't know. If I like bop it hard enough, maybe the thing will. Because that felt like it fell into something different. But then I have no ability to pull it down more, and this thing still isn't budging. Street sweeper brushes? What is that? I don't know what that is. It might be too big. This might still be too thick to properly release things. Yeah, I think because it's basically, there's a hole and then there's another hole and they're like this. Well, actually they're like this. And I'm trying to get through and get to this one and pull it down. So that didn't really do it. I need something thinner than this. Only slightly even. I don't think those made it. Maybe in some of the weirder stuff that I have, I've got some really thin things. Still might be too thick. I don't know. This is a ream. A very small, very precise ream. That might be it. I won't put the ream end in. I'll do the other end. That's too thick. Yeah, too thick. It really is a paperclip size. Yeah, none of that stuff is good. And it's all hardened too. So that won't exactly do what I need it to. Where are my lock picks? Let's see if we can find them in a drawer over here. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to do precisely what's on the title. This ain't a tutorial. I've never had a use for this thing. What would I ever do with this? No, it looks like none of that stuff will work. Screwdrivers that I haven't seen in 4 years. Let's see, another general purpose bin. There were a lot of lock tensioners in there, but nothing to get fully in. More tweezers. Glass cutting tools. Certainly not this one. One of the drawers of all time. Okay, let's see, where else? We just gotta find the right paperclip. There's my challenge coin. You guys will never top this challenge coin. Terrorist Explosive Device Analytical Center, the TDAC challenge coin. I'm gonna get free drinks all night with this thing. No real pin tools in here. I don't think I have any syringes that are long enough. My syringes are much shorter than that because they're subcutaneous, not intramuscular. Another hex key. Same size. Same size miniature hex key, all right. The world is making fun of me. That's what's going on. This is just a big joke. My paperclipless self. Getting nowhere with the simplest of tasks We were supposed to be looking at the barrel. I think, yeah, this is, well, I mean, that is pretty strong, but I don't think that's going to push down the thing, so. Raise your pocket lint and a Chuck E. Cheese token. Well, the whole challenge coin thing is when you're out drinking with, what is it? Is it army guys or is it government guys? I don't know. You're out drinking with people and you all present like a coin. And I guess whoever has either the highest ranked coin or the coolest one, I forget. I don't know what the terms are for winning, but terrorist explosive device analysis is usually a pretty good shoe-in. Unless somebody has like a presidential coin or something. Mine is from the chief of police of my town. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I got 3 of them, but one of them went missing, so I assume somebody is getting free drinks on my back. More power to them, I suppose. Do I have anything else that resembles a pin tool? I don't really want to stick a drill bit into this thing because the drill bit will just snap. Yeah, I don't think I have that tiny size of drill bit. I need like maybe a piece of wire. Paperclip really is the only solution in this case, isn't it? I mean, like a piece of like house wiring wire, because copper wire is going to be too weak. Those shirt clips, I think, are the best bet, even though they've got like 2 bends in them before they break. Any other candidates here? No, machine tools are all hardened. We could use the airbag. I realized that I haven't moved this to a safe spot yet. If I put the airbag on it, maybe we could blow it up. That might not be a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. The challenge coins that I have, they're not quite worthy of a shadow box. I think they'll just stick in my tool bin. Well, I don't think I can really sport that. See, like, okay. I'm not sticking this in there because this is too important of a tool. But this is pretty much, if that bend were a little bit more stout, this would be the exact tool that I would need, because it would go straight in there and then you twist it and it'll push down that little thing. Bob's your uncle. Problem here is that the other pin tools that I have are not long enough, or they're too soft. Yeah, those are not long enough. This stuff is too soft. It breaks pretty easily. And I've already kind of fluttered around inside there to try to get to the unlocking stuff, which is, I guess, right here and here. I think it's this top ridge. So we need to go in this far. I think that's as far as I get it. Oh no, it's up here. It's like all the way up here. And see, I'm hitting against something, and then it kind of negotiates its way by it. And of course, at the same time, I don't have the ability to push outwards on this. You know, like that. What if I... No, that's not going to do it. Do-do-do-do, The guy whose video I saw did it with a paperclip. He put a little notch at the end of the paperclip, inserted the paperclip, twisted it, and then it came loose. And it seems like it's not one of those things where, like, the first time you do it, it's really hard and then it gets easier, because it is literally just an entire whole ass piece of metal that you move out of the way. I can, listen, let me go get a paperclip. I need a paperclip. Why is human? All right, be right back. Okay, I think I found something that might work. So I found a couple. I found really weak, cheesy paper clips. I didn't find larger ones. I was hoping for the size up from this. But I also found something that is much stronger, which is the binder clip. So we can modify this, we can flatten it out, and then that'll create a really good clip that I can twist. But let's try the normal paper clip just to see what the hell happens. Just to see if it actually works. Yeah, if this super weak paper clip does the job immediately, there might be a crash out. These pliers are really good at flattening stuff. Okay, and then just a little tiny bend at the very end of this thing. Just like that. Because I don't know how sprung this thing is. You get sprung. Okay, that went in way further than I thought it would. Hold on. Whoa! What the? Okay, this thing is like plunging the depths. What does it traverse the earth in spite of? What is going on here? Okay, so mechanically it didn't do anything, but it did actually figure out what the total depth is supposed to be, and it's pretty deep. That's kind of insane. So we need to get that kind of a distance out of the tool. Now, if I want to make a stronger tool, I can try this, or I could try bending that more. But these binder clips are made out of tougher stuff. In fact, so much so that it is very difficult for me to alter this piece of binder clip. And we're going to need to alter it quite a bit. So where's my vise? There it is. This should be able to squish it hard enough. Yeah, is it spring steel? It might be. Okay, I need to flatten the whole thing out, so I guess maybe I'm putting it in like this. Using the power of ramps. The power of the simple machine. I can't believe this is taking me this long to do, but I guess whatever. It's the first time I'm doing it, so yeah, this isn't going to work. Just grab it and bend it. That's going to kill my fingers. That's good for flattening. Jeez. These Nipex pliers are actually really good. These channel locks, really good. Yeah, you really grip stuff. Update on TPU, didn't work as a non-slip mat. It's rubbery enough, but it's flexible. Didn't quite get what you wanted out of it. It's not good. I'm just using the vise as something to like squish it and flatten it a little bit more, but it's also sliding in the vise. I don't know if that's really going to work that well. Flatten you out. I need one of those roller things that you pull the wire through and it like flattens it. Okay, binder clip. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. We should try some. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's the MRE guy. that's not lockpicking lawyer. I'm doing the wrong impression. Nah, this is looking pointy enough. I could stick that in your eye. We gotta go how far? Holy shit, not nearly. I don't know if that got into some of the internals though. I think that was too far. That may have been too far, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt here. Since this is thicker wire, it might just bend it first try without having to bend the little notch in the front. I don't know how other people do this stuff. Maybe they spend the 5 hours off camera getting it right. Put the spool back in a vacuum seal Ziploc. That's a good idea, yeah. The wire does look thick. Yeah, it's a little thinner than the hex key that fit in, so we should get this should be a good try. So, key in position 2. This is beating up my fingers. Like, my fingers hurt from all this now. I don't know how mechanics do it all day. I guess once you get to know how to do this stuff, it comes a little easier. I'm more of a shade tree mechanic myself. Now, what are we hitting against? Because that paper clip went way in. I think that is where we're trying to go. But when I get back here, put a little pressure on it. It's not releasing the cylinder. We weren't supposed to be stuck here. Okay. So, take the very tip. Only for a minute. No, come back here. I need that. We're doing this instead of programming today. At least for now. So tomorrow Julian's here. We're gonna do some music stuff, mostly me repairing his music stuff. Yeah, lockpicking lawyer does indeed make it look very, very easy. It is not easy. Shit ain't easy. I can probably only afford a tiny little bend in this thing. I can't really bend this very easily. It's very springy steel. I mean, this is from a binder clip, not a paper clip. The paper clip, I feel like this slipped into the internal mechanisms because look at how far it went. Like, that's crazy. I think that got out of where it should be. So if I get this to go all the way in, hopefully I can twist it a little bit and pull that thing down, that internal piece. And also you want this to bias towards the top because, again, it's the hole you're coming in on and the thing you're trying to actuate are off by a little bit. And so you want to ride the top and get up into that. And then if you have like a little bend, you can twist it and it'll pull the thing down a little bit more. That's what was shown to me in the YouTube video. I saw it in a dream. So this is like the perfect shape. What up, Gonad? Oh, Gonad, I need to give you the rundown on this thing. Because I've been talking to Gonad about buying an ignition for a while. This is from a VW from the 2000s. I think it's like Skoda brand. They were saying it's VW, Skoda, Audi, etc. Two big M bolts on the top. They're probably M8s, mateys. This thing bolts into the column. It's got a switch on the back, and that is just, you can literally look inside the connector and see the spring contacts inside of it. So it's got the exact feel of a car because it is from a car. Key goes in, key comes out, key goes in, key comes out, key goes in, twisted into the first position, the little pawl goes away, P-A-W-L, then start. And so that's just making electrical contacts over here. And it's got the full spring feel of the starter. This is some kind of an electronical doodad, probably to, well, I want to say to recharge the key, but people are saying that it's like an RFID tag kind of thing for the key so that it can be sensed and unlock the electronic parts. Okay, Paul. Whenever I say Paul, P-A-W-L, and I tell chat about that, I am reminded of the scene in Eraserhead where the guy is ringing for what's his face, and he goes, comes in there and he puts his finger right in the guy's face. Okay, Paul. Yeah, no, that's what I think of every single time. St. Paul's Cathedral. So if you turn off the car or you turn it into the on position, nothing changes, right? Turn it off, or sorry, this is on position running. Turn it off, nothing. Pull the key out a little. Pull the key out all the way. Bonk, that thing comes back up. And you have like a splined thing around the steering wheel. So if a spline is in the way and you pull back, nothing happens. You can move the wheel a little bit and then boop, now you're locked and you can't turn the wheel anymore. So if I can incorporate that, I will be pleased as punch. Mercedes, I think, moved this type of system further back on the steering column. Paul is dead. Atreides? What are we talking about? So on position, big clip, feel the internal structure, try to pull down that little piece. Can it just press a button that tells the wheelbase to jam the brakes on? I mean, I guess. This is like your security lockout. That's for like the system that says, hey, this isn't the right person. Wait for my brother Baron. So I have my old super cool switchblade key. Yeah, that's cool. It is the same type of key. So it fits, doesn't twist. I was playing the lottery when I ordered this thing, because this is new but not OEM. I was playing the lottery. They're very similar, these two. They're very similar. So I'm hoping that I can modify the barrel in some way so that it can just not have any security on it at all. That may mean that it's not able to lock the key in place like it does right now, but that's not that necessary. And of course, the security part of it is not necessary on a simulator. So I want to get the cylinder out. We've watched a couple videos. One of them says, just drill it right here and then push down on the thing. But that's not really. What there is there's an arm with a hole in the end. You can just imagine if my arm was a little bit more smooth, and that is sprung this way around the cylinder, right? So you got an arm that's sprung that way, and then you have another access hole nearby. So this thing is being sprung upwards, and you have your access hole. So you got to get a pin to go through both of those and then pull down the little arm, and then you can pull the whole assembly out. That's all well and good, and you can find YouTube videos of people doing that. But when it comes down to brass tacks and you actually have to do it, it's much more difficult. So first position, on position, dot and hole lined up, actuator into the hole. This is a much stronger spring steel. I think I need to get rid of this little kink right here. Yeah, the lockpicking lawyer would be able to do it before he even finishes his sentence. I mean, this wouldn't make it 10 seconds into a video. I think lockpicking lawyer, didn't they do a video where they showed off what they use to lock their house, and it's like extensive? Could you imagine being the lockpicking lawyer? People would be wanting to like break into your house constantly. Yes, this is intended for the sim. I'm going to have to adapt this over to the Mercedes steering column. I don't think the key needs to move with the column, so I think this can go to the fixed portion of the column. But unfortunately, the part of the Mercedes steering column that has those little those little notches on the thing is that box right there. This little area, I think, and there's a hole in it right there. I think something in the key system is meant to communicate with like a solenoid up here. I think that's how Mercedes wants to do it, because there's a little hole right there where there are those ribs that this thing would interface with perfectly. But over at the front of the column, there isn't any sort of mechanism for this. He has the insurance policy of also being a gun owner publicly. I see, I see. Yeah, he uses some pretty crazy locks on his own setup, and man, that's a lot of pressure, right? Because you get crazies. You get crazies. All right, so first position, there's the hole, plunge the depths. The regular thin paperclip made it way further into this than this thing is. The problem is I also don't have a third hand in order to pull this thing out with. Yeah. And then the key's also in the way. I don't know, like here. Super duper long paperclip. Yeah, that goes way in. If I could just get that to push down on the thing, but it doesn't really seem to. So what if I put like a big bend in the end of this? Just a big old chunky bend like that. Maybe a little less than that. Did a gate lock where he reached around it and unlocked it? Maybe the thinness here can pay off for us. Because that'll actually actuate it downwards. His house is probably made of locks and 8-inch thick brass walls. I think his lock has some really special stuff on it, like his key, and I think he changes it out regularly. With the added bonus of this getting stuck. No, I'm not sure the depth at all. I think it's supposed to be this deep, but this one goes this deep, which I think is a little absurd. I think if I can get this down to here, I think that's where it is. But there's no feedback on this. There's probably a VW special tool that you have to buy. Yeah, nothing. That's why I think this one is the way to go. But this one doesn't really appear to be cooperating. Yeah, where's the CT machine? I do have a boroscope somewhere. I could try that. I'm not a lock-picking person. I tried to lockpick. I'm not great at it. Abus padlocks. Yeah, it's just not coming loose on me. Let's do a little bit more research here. Because this is on a different VW. I need it to be on this particular one. Yeah, see that? That's what we're up against. Oh, and that's what the whole thing looks like in place. Cool. Ignition switch, lock column, immobilizer, antenna. So it's just an antenna? What? Cool. Insert paperclip went on. And then we're supposed to retract this thing. I have a feeling my paperclip went like above it. Because yeah, it's not that far. It's just like a couple millimeters down. It's like here. So I think this is the housing for that. I think that's where it retracts to. So this is where that little arm is. And if I smack this thing hard enough, I could probably pull this thing. Yeah, you know he's been cut a check if he starts talking about singing the praise of the master lock. It is indeed a reciprocating dingle arm. I used to have more of that memorized. Sub-ambulating marsal fins. It like almost feels like I'm there. Okay, how far in am I? I'm this far? Yeah, I think I'm going past it. Well, the side fumbling is supposed to be mitigated by, man, I wish look, I had that thing partially sort of memorized and I could read through it. The turbo encabulator, which was just to test whether or not listening to a reading of the text could help him do his line reading better. I like how Twitch protects me from the horrific word dingle. What? What's it doing? Hold on. I don't think that anything moderatorly happened. It just says dingle arm. I think something other than Twitch is doing that for you. I watched the video. He just wiggled it and it came off. I'm wiggling my dingle arm as hard as I can. Dingle hopper seems to have gotten through on... Wait, but it's not... No, dingle hopper made it through just fine. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's try them all. Yeah, you might check your Twitch... Man, this thing is like sharp. But this should be perfect for the simulator. This is going to be a great addition to it. Yeah, you got user settings where you can set that. They never show the struggle in the video. I know. Like, it kind of feels like I'm moving something in there, but it's just not cooperating. It's not moving at all. I do have it in the right position, but I can't fathom. All right, let's bend it more. Bend it more. And maybe once you see it, you know what you're up against, but gets re-enabled because my browser deletes cookies. Oh, geez. That sounds annoying. My big annoyance is just my ad filters not working as well as they used to. I get these, you know, the video quality drops to abysmal. See, at a certain point, it doesn't fit into the thing, or I just don't know what I'm doing. This is supposed to be more fascinating mechanical stuff. Looking at... Supposedly it's an antenna, yeah. So that the car can communicate with the key and get a secret code that allows you to unlock the car, making it more secure through electronical doodads instead of mechanical. This seems like it should be the right angle. And then if I twist it around, it should go to the right angle. I got purple ad block and it seems to work okay for Twitch. Interesting. Yeah, I've just got that filter that drops your quality down to abysmal. And then it gives you the cylinder. And then this thing. Maybe I can drop a huge magnet on it like those door locks. Because, yeah, this is just not working out. It seems like I am getting into the right spot. But I need... And this stuff is pretty hard to bend. So if I get just the very, very end of it, and I push it over, this is going to penetrate skin if it slips. Okay, there we go. That's not going to fit in. Like, if I took a belt sander and I shaved that down, I can't get it to bend on the very, very end because it's too tough. Now I kind of want to take my cylinder out of my Mark IV parts car to try this. Yeah. Good luck. I used to, so yeah, I used to have a Mark IV. Mark IV, all right, I'm gonna try this. This is gonna like scratch everything up in there. And so we're in the right position. That might be onto something. No. It's like, it's just comedy at this point. Watch me struggle with things that I don't know if I'm doing correctly. The Sisyphusian task of poking things into a car. I'm trying to be a menace. I'm trying to do wrong in this world, but my ineptitude prevents it. What am I not doing? These pictures are really good. In 3 steps. Yeah, it's not hard to do. I guess just once you get a feel to it. The GTA Oh Bother stream. Miguel Oz! Miguel Oz, I don't deserve a reward for what I'm doing. Gifted a sub to Car Burglar, who's probably better at burgling cars than I am, as evidenced by today's stream. This is a different one, but it might have the same system. There's music. That one looks way different. Well, sort of. It's sort of in the same vein. So put it in the position, get a normal paperclip. The only one I could find was a thin paperclip. Bend the paperclip way more times than is probably strictly needed. Literally, just like it is. Somehow able to remove the key while it's in the on position, which I am not. I have 8 VWs in my yard. Oh, okay. Prominent. Okay, turn the key to the on position. On. Okay, that was the on. You got it. Does that have 2 positions? This one only has 1. Sus starter. Insert the paper clip that everything is in the way of. He's wiggling it about like a madman. That's illegal. Wiggling it like that is illegal. And it goes way down in there. And he wiggles it a bit more. You gotta buy me dinner before you wiggle it this much. And then he pulls on it, but it doesn't come out. Remove the key from the lock. And then the money shot. Okay, this is me. This is me right now. And then the paperclip breaks. What are we doing here? What? And it just freaking falls out. Okay. Okay. So what was the key here? See, if I had like a thin sheet of metal and it had a little bend in the end, it feels like the paper clips that we started with were close. we need the appropriate number of swear words in order to properly achieve this mechanical feat. The key is the key. That's true. That is true. Okay. And then this, like this, until it seems to have gone into something. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. Nothing. Talk to the keymaster. It like freaking just falls out when it actually does work. I think that the little thing in the end is probably pretty important. Wiggle it, but wiggle it appropriately. Okay. Not lewd wiggling. We need just the right. No keymaster, there's only Zor. I am the keymaster. Okay, this is comedy. They changed the system. It does something else. It doesn't actually work this way. This is just a big joke, and they put all these videos on YouTube just to fool me. Just to make me think that this would have been the short part of the stream. Is me literally just putting a pin in something, and then this thing comes out, and we get to see how it works. It's actually, and I know it. Well, apparently not, because if I was, this thing would come out. Give me it. Do it. The videos are just to troll car thieves. I can see it. I can see it. I can see that as the strategy. Okay. The problem is this is also tearing up my hand as I keep moving it around. I don't have like a handle on the end of this thing. I don't even know if I'm getting deep enough. If we're going this deep, that's probably right at the edge of it. Nope, that's in it. Okay, wait a minute. So am I going beyond it and then getting stuck on things? Who knew boosting cars? Was this tough? I told chat ahead of this stream that I was going to steal a car, and I haven't stolen a car yet. I don't know. The key, I don't think the key has anything to do with it. The key just kind of puts it in the position so that it can come out. And the binder wire is probably our best bet because it's stout enough. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could do the old trick of maybe it only goes like to here. Oh! Oh, jeez. Diabetes, I'll tell you guys something about that. Glucose levels running all over the place, right? So when it does that, there's a lactic acid buildup in the muscles. And so as I'm gripping things with these muscles down here, they're going to tend to want to Charlie horse and lock up. I have faith you will get this. You place your faith in a false god. I am not indeed all of that and a bag of chips. All right, so I've got a pseudo mark on this thing. I'd probably put a piece of tape there anyway. Yeah, diabetes is a bitch. I've had it for over 30 years. Okay, that position. See, the thing is, for the simulator, this boils down to just a switch. It feels the way a key should feel, though, which I really like. I don't need security. I don't need an antenna here. I don't need, you know, secure, weird mechanisms. So I would like to disable all of that stuff, but we'll have to see. Because namely, it'd be funny if I, instead of, you know, like if I lose the key, I could just use a screwdriver to do the key functions. You know, the key functions are all secondary. I could just put those over to switches. I could literally just have a run and drive switch. So what if I only went the depth that I think I need to? Watch this thing fucking just fall apart once I get it, because there's the mark. So there we're down to here. So that should be, wiggle it a little bit. I didn't feel like it went into anything, but it could be that I was going beyond the little thing. Lockpicking lawyer would have had this open by now. Lockpicking lawyer would have just like smacked it on the side. Here. this works, I'm going to be mad. Trying to use gravity to hit the thing to the side and have it close and then fall out, but it didn't work. You still have plenty of time before GTA 6 drops. I don't know, man. I don't know how strong that spring is. Seeing as this thing was probably never removed, that probably means the spring's pretty strong. All right, we'll only go to that depth, and then I'll twist the paperclip and see if the weak one will do it. This one just has more of a flat thing on the end that'll actuate. Oh, but my mark's all the way over here. There we go. Not quite. What I'm doing is I'm twisting it, and so this thing should make it a little deeper as I twist it. I don't want to get it stuck, so just have the wires hanging down so I have to hot wire it every time. You know that's tempting. You know how tempting that is to me. Oh shit, I gotta hot wire this thing. The GTA role players actually have a little mini game to hotwire the car. It's basically just the Among Us connect the wires game. Sorry, should I be saying Among Us? I don't know. I don't know what the kids are doing these days. What was that? Was that engaging? No. As if I would be so lucky. I expected this to go a little bit smoother. I didn't expect us to have a solution today, but I expected it to be a little bit smoother than this. Yeah, this thing isn't doing shit. Okay. Yeah, you see a YouTube video on it and you go, that's not so bad. Okay, fine. Fine, you know what? That's fine. It's fine, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I saw another one that's still attached to the column. Still attached sounds easier just because, oh, jeez. Just because it's like your third hand. Engineering was German. They said nothing about manufacturing. It's true. How can I like get a nice little bend in the end of that? It's going to ruin my vice. It's going to hurt my vice if I put it in there. Ouch. See, what that's supposed to do is allow me to twist it, and then it'll actuate it a little bit. But everything I'm trying is failing, so... There, hey, I'm going to take this. Take... Oh, the only ones I have are mini. Maybe one of these will do. I don't think it'll hold it very well, though, to be honest. Yeah, I need better vices. Or use the big vice at the end of the bench. But that's at the end of the bench. I can't move it over here. This thing will barely hold. Oh, but I can get a little bit of force on it. Try smoking. I'm not a mechanic. Oh, that's not. No, that's failing in every way. Failing in every way. Nope. Well, I don't have anything good to like if I move it over to the vice over there, I could have it held up pretty well. It really should just drop out though. Like if I hold it like this, it should just drop out of this thing. if I get the heavier vice, heavier vice, heavier vice, heavier vice. Heffa vice? Heffa Watson! Slightly heavier vice. Heavy advice. It's a doggy-dog kind of world out there, guys. Okay. Nope. Nothing is designed at an angle that facilitates clamping. Curse at it in German. It's a fairly good idea, but I don't really know many of those. Maybe that'll give it enough. Yeah, that I can pull on a little bit. The voice of knowledge. Just kind of searching around for something that feels like I'm actually moving a sprung lever, because I can get one hand to kind of pull back on this. A position like that, there we go. Yeah, if I could do this while this is open, that would give me a much better sense. Use the other clamp to clamp the clamp. I mean, not a bad call. But this is a very weak clamp. This is more for like holding a circuit board onto something. Yeah, this is just like... When I finally got down to brass tacks, it turns out the whole thing was broken. Well, I got another one of these that I can donate to this cause for a moment. Clamps are good to have. The clamps, boss. These are not, you know, like if I had a real clamp, this would be a lot easier. Got to counteract the force exerted on the starter body to the cylinder so that you can clear the tab distance. What are you talking about? Okay, I need another level of clamps. I need more differenter clamps with a swirling, kind of a swirly motion. You know, you kind of want to swirl. You want to kind of swirl. The cylinder must remain unharmed. Keep it in motion, maybe. This little piece right here digging into my hand is the worst part. Yeah, well, moving does not indicate unlocking. And this is like the easiest thing in the world, according to all of the videos. Do I need to go deeper? You need, like, listen, far be it from me to understand how to move things in a scenario like this. There's a lot of innuendo going on, and I don't think I can keep up anymore. Well, moving easier is one thing. Coming out is the other, which I hear is difficult. Give me a cylinder. That made a noise, but I don't know if that was a good noise. See, the problem is I'm going to end up wearing away at this thing so that it'll always feel weird and loose. Modeled the cylinder and cast it in silicone. He also pontificated on what the cylinder was. We all know what the cylinder was in that particular example. It was not a secret. You could admit to things without admitting to things. That, I keep hearing noises that sound like it's unlocking. But it's just not, it's just stuck. This is like the easiest thing in the world. A car thief can do it before you even know that it's done. They'd have wires in hand in 5 seconds. Okay, rest my fingers for a second. Yeah, clamping the clamps for clamps. Remove the cylinder without harming it. See, are we talking about that Reddit thing? Is that what's being discussed? Because clearly we all know what that was. It was a male appendage, famous for being stuck in things like hot tub vents. The car owner, yeah, they'd be banging on the window with their groceries going, hey, you want to just take the keys? Like, it's a shitty VW. It's a Mark IV. I don't want it anymore. The insurance payout is enough. Just take the car. Here are the keys. You want my busted ass Mark IV? Just take it, man. You're doing more harm to the car. It's already a write-off. I'm just like confused. There's one little thing that I need to move, and it's a little piece of metal, and my tool appears to be exactly the right thing to do it. It may not be moving it enough to let it loosen. My tool is never enough. Yeah, it's just not doing the trick. Maybe she's not into me anymore. Okay, there we go. There's the jokes. We're done. This one is too flimsy. This one is not the right thing, but maybe it'll do the right job by virtue of being enormous. Okay, that was not meant to be. That was not meant as innuendo. Wait a minute. That one appeared to have moved something. It feels like it got through and moved something out of the way. I made the coil to a Jetta blow out when helping my mom jumpstart when I was 6. I once had the water pump on my Mark IV 1.8 turbo. The water pump exploded in the block because they made it out of plastic, and a heating and cooling cycle, especially in Philadelphia, is pretty harsh. And so the plastic gets hard. And so when the pump breaks, the plastic blows up into a million pieces. And so I had to, on West River Drive, drive the car as far as it would go. And right about when it was overheating, in like minutes, I'd have to pull over and then wait for everything to cool off. You're better at cracking jokes than cracking this lock. You shut the fuck. Yeah, I know. We're not here for my mechanical prowess. That much you can be sure of. I'm so close to just cheating and just drilling the hole right here. Yeah, the switch to plastic has been kind of a harsh one for many different car systems, as things don't exactly match up in their failure modes. Am I not good enough for you? Must you torture me like so? Simple. It's simple. Zoom, 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 zoom. Sorry, there was an old song. It's simple. Zoom, 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 zoom. One of those old Jungle is Massive tunes. I do not understand They make it look so easy. Literally a flimsy, slightly less flimsy than what I have, paper clip into the thing a certain distance, and it just pulls that piece down. And then this lock is able to pull out of the cylinder unharmed. Look at that. See, the whole thing's jumping up and down when he gets it. Or the whole video was faked. You know, I like to give them a little bit of credit. You have to wear blue gloves. I only have black gloves. I don't have blue gloves. I don't have blue gloves. They make it look so easy. Nope. Nope. Although it did bend this down. This is now flat. That was supposed to be a lot easier. Let me go back to this material. This stuff is a little stronger. So going in like this and then pulling it around, I guess I need to go a little further than that. The feverish desperation wiggle. Yeah. 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 All right, so if I make this come off at the same angle, and I go in like this, I turn this way. It's actually down here. So we're going in here. And I guess if I move this either down or up far enough, that little twist at the end should pull that piece of metal down all the way. I have the American nut rounder sitting in standby. It's under the tool chest over there. Okay, and then around we go. Does that get it down further? Would be nice if I could go a little further with this. Because the key's getting in the way of my twisting this thing. That may be part of the problem. Mm-hmm. All right, give it back. Give it back. Give it back. Try doing... Just leave it like this and then spin it with a pair of pliers. Yeah. Percussive. This will get percussive very quickly. No, I don't think that's going to do it. That, or I'm probably just not getting into the right thing. I'll go the other way. I bet if I could see this thing, it would be, you know, if I saw it outside of the cylinder once. The thumb detector, yeah. Found one. Why am I not getting this? Chat, why am I not getting this? What's wrong with me? Is it me? That actually flattened this. I'm at my wit's end. The end of wit. It's going to be all scratched up. Okay, that's too much. A little bit less. If I could bend it closer to the end, I guess if I bent it and then clipped it. What up, trillionaire? We're trying to boost a car. We got to get this before this family gets back from their grocery shopping. And I'm having a hell of a time of it. I think you got to take the time with the pick routing. I mean, I could try to find my picks. Maybe no, I don't think a pick will fit in this. I don't think like a lock pick. Ay, ay, ay. Like, okay, so. Do you drink coffee? How are you always up and killing the game? And having an awesome time. You're awesome. Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I don't know what you think you're saying to me. I don't know what you're saying. Always killing the game. I don't think I'm killing the game. I'm not on that much. I'm half asleep at the desk right now. We were supposed to be doing something that looks very easy. Look, he just stabs it with a freaking paperclip, and it just pops out. What the heck? Hold on, let me see if I got like a real paperclip. I don't really have like a real paperclip. I've got these weird ones from like shirts, and then I have rubber bands and stamps in this drawer. Nothing quite feels paperclippy in here. I got Pokemons. Look up the Kia boys. No, that's not what we're doing right now. Do you guys want Pokemon? I've got Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Is Spider-Man? Maybe other Pokemon. I've got other Pokemon. Where's the other Pokemon? I have it for the DS. Oh, there it is. I know, that's Mario 64. Mario 64, Sega Genesis. Okay, hold on. Pokemon 3DX or whatever. Got that. I wish I had Pokemon carts. These are just like leftovers. These are mine. These are mine from when they came out. I don't remember what you used to be. You used to be something good. I don't remember what you were. This might have been Faceball. Ooh, I played Pokemon on his subathon. Got really begored. What does that mean? How do you get begored? Is that bigoted or engorged? Or is it a little bit of both? That sounds scary, whatever that is. Let's game. Do you have an Xbox? I mean, look, I've got stuff to game. We're not gaming. I got stuff to do. And we're doing it. I got processors if you need a computer This is just this drawer that I'm going through that I can't show you guys. I am looking right now to see if, like, with a sort of Hail Mary attempt. Intel Core i5 25 something or other. I need an Intel i7. How about, oops, hold on. My cable's stuck. Do we need a Pentium? And a Pentium? Do we need a, let me pull this i7 out of my junk drawer. Well, we got a Pentium. We got a Pentium too. Pretty good. These things are awesome for overclocking because you can sandwich material on them. Yeah, because they were on the slot 1, you could sandwich them with insulation and stuff and then pour freaking like dry ice into a bucket. Could we use the Pentium 2 to get into the early 2000s lock cylinder? Maybe. Maybe not. Who's asking? Yeah, okay, so furthering on with pin tools to the detriment of my grippers. My grippers are a little bit in pain due to all of the gripping that I've done today. 266 megahertz. The teensy 4 point whatever that's in here that I have is like 600 megahertz. It's as strong as a Pentium. It's ridiculous. The speeds of these things nowadays. Or was that 60? I don't remember. I mean, the 10-year-old STM micros are like 70 megahertz, right? 266. It's crazy, the speeds. You could play Descent 1 on it. So, I mean, according to all the videos, this is what you do. You stick something in here, you wiggle, 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 which this isn't really wiggling. Wiggle, 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 and then the whole thing comes out. But it's not working, and I feel like I need to actually get a actual paperclip, but it's still not fast enough. Descent 2 was my jam. Descent 2 was, oh man, I love that game. And then Descent 3 had a really good level that was hidden behind a whole subway mini game. You had to dodge subways, and then you were in like a city. I don't get why they wouldn't just put you in the city. That was the DLC for Descent 3. Big Hammer. Well, that one guy that cheated is starting to look a little bit more reasonable. He drilled it somewhere around here and then just pushed, and then it just comes out. It's German. You need a metric paperclip. I knew this would happen to me someday. I knew this would happen to me someday. I don't want to spend an entire 5-hour stream trying to get a lock cylinder out, but, and this is a big but, I cannot lie, that appears to be the direction that we're going in. I am so mad. You guys don't know. Is she clipping? Oh, yeah, she clippy. Ho, ho, ho. I'm not gonna just take a hammer to it. But yeah, on the simulator setup, we could always play some of the Descent games, but I won't feel like playing Descent unless I have like a dinky plastic joystick. So let's see here. The very end of this. And then we take the hammer. Where's my hammer? There it is. Sledgehammer. Dun, dun. I rewatched a little bit of that show, Sledgehammer. Sort of cop parody show. Apparently the Germans really loved that show. Bum, bum, sledgehammer. See, now that's not going to fit. But if I file it down, it will fit. There's, I think it's called Sledgehammer, I'm pretty sure. It was a parody cop show from way back in the day. Actually, maybe I could just clip off the top and it'll still have that little bit of bend in it. I got to clip it from the other side so that the sharp end is the one facing down. There we go. So now there's just this little foot in the end. That might do it. Try to overload. That's Descent. Oh, I see. I think I've heard of it, but they couldn't use the name Descent for legal reasons. Yeah, the game industry is just this big Ouroboros where companies eat other companies. And so legal stuff happens all the time. There's a successor to Fallout 2, like Wasteland or something like that. It's under a different name. I played a little bit of it. It seemed kind of good, but I didn't actually follow through. The games industry is certainly guilty of that. God, and like the revenge engine in from what was that called again? The Lord of the Rings game. That was really, really good because the, I mean, it's not as great as everybody makes it out to be. It's not like the end-all be-all of gaming, but it does make for some interesting emergent content in a game when you have an engine where certain entities will try to take revenge on you for beating them. And it could translate to a lot of different game AI and make a lot of games really interesting, but the company that invented it is sitting on it, and they haven't made any subsequent games out of it. It would have made for some cool mechanics in some games. Then again, the internet also just gives it a whole lot more credit than I think it really deserves. Ah, God, it hurts my hands. I need like a little vice grip to hold on to this thing. I don't have tiny vice grips. I think I used to. I don't know what happened to them. Give me what I'm owed. Nothing. I'm gonna get this thing out and there's gonna be just scratches all over the place. I forget what the name of the game was. It was yeah, I'm not doing well in the memory department right now because I've been mad at this lock for too long. Sledgehammer. Bum, bum. Like, the theory is that I get this little angled piece in there, and if I twist it around, it'll push this down even further. How did it get stuck in the first place? It's not stuck. None of this is stuck. This is like an OEM, not OEM, but it's an OE part that I bought off of eBay. It is just literally an Audi key lock, Audi/VW/Skoda, that whole family. And so this is going to be perfect on the steering wheel because it'll give me the exact feel of a key switch, right? For starting up a motor. I wanted to be able to use my really, really cool panty dropper switchblade key. Potentially we could do some RF hacking on this thing to get it so that if I hit the unlock, it'll go boop boop. But shunk. Yeah, mine didn't snap. I've treated it well over the years. This thing is so old that the little emergency text that was on this is gone. Battery's probably dead, but it doesn't let me use this. But I want this to be the key to the simulator because this is a personal thing. It's like a personal key of mine. I like it a lot. Shunk. It donned my pockets for the early 2000s, a little bit of the early 2010s. So this, I mean, this is a complete system. This would actually work in the car, in the sim setup. If I, I'm gonna have to 3D scan it and then make something that will mate it to the Mercedes column. The hinge fit is made of sintered crap. I have never had problems with it. This has always been good. I don't understand how people are out here breaking them. If you need more torque, you can always put it into the torque position. Then you'll really break that sucker. At this point, just build a real car. What do you think I'm doing, man? It's pretty much what the whole thing is. We're basically building a real car, some of it. And I'm making all the digital systems of the car into my own. So this will speak CAN bus to the rest of the car. There will be a module that will say, hey, I am in the on position, I'm in the off position, I'm in the start position, onto the CAN bus, and then the open force feedback controller, well, not the open FFB, the Raspberry Pi that has Node-RED on it will intercept the signal and then send a signal out to an HID device, or turn on my lights, or do any of a number of things that I want it to do. Mine snapped from just normal operating and closing. I might print some new hinges. I can't believe that. I know people snapped these right and left. I do know that because some people would just start their car with just the metal end of the key, right? I am essentially making an ECU, but it doesn't run engine management. It does stuff management, and stuff management is more easily done in Node-RED. Depthing it to there, giving me a little bend indicator there. That's about the position. So then if I try to twist it, I should be able to do this one-handed. One-handed! One-handed! I don't get it, bro. Bro, I don't get it, bro. Bro, I don't get it, bro. You should use a laptop for an ECU like the Japanese cool guys. I don't know why you'd want a laptop. The laptop does so many other things that can cause it to crash that you would not want it to be doing engine management. I'm sure people have done it and it's great, but the laptop should be interfacing with something a little bit more robust, especially in an automotive application. For me, I'm using a Raspberry Pi, which I'm not all about, but the cool thing about the Raspberry Pi is that it can host Node-RED. So not on Linux, not on Linux. Yes, on Linux, man. Even on Linux, it's going to be doing stuff that can cause it to crash. Linux is not infallible, and it should not be running an entire engine. In our case, what I can have is all of the inputs on one side of Node-RED, and then all of the outputs on the other, and I can route them around and scale them and change them. So if Node-RED is fast enough to do this, then maybe I will. Yeah, the claim, I'm not gonna back that. YouTube shorts are evil. I see one short video about a cap in Captain Marvel, and now 3 hours later, I watched Captain Marvel and the Marvels. Are you whelmed? I didn't find those underwhelming or overwhelming. I was whelmed. They were one of the movies of all time. Like, and I think that was the problem. A lot of people had girl problem. That wasn't me. I didn't care. All that identity nonsense that people get caught up in. I'm mad because influencers are mad. No, that's not me. No, I just thought they were of the movies of all time. There wasn't anything very special about them. And I think they were kind of indicative of the superhero genre losing its grip on what made them really interesting. I'm just in it for the cat. I think the cat had a decent role in there. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember because they were kind of forgettable. Come on, man. Like, if I were to be able to actuate this thing properly, it would have actuated properly. We're in the right position because I am getting to the right thing. I'm putting all this wear and tear on it. And it's also a lot more loose than it felt before. I mean, like, this is a complete system, so anything that I'm doing here is like a bonus and or harming the thing, but I kind of wanted to alter the lock so that it wasn't really a lock anymore, because it doesn't need to be a lock. Is that hooked up to power? What are you talking? No. Literally, like, there's nothing. It's just a lock cylinder that I'm fighting right now. We're just fighting a lock cylinder. Did it work before you removed it? I didn't remove it. I bought it off of eBay. This was never put in a car. This is a replacement part for somebody who has a VW that they want to put a key lock in. The key locking or the wheel locking portion works on this too. I would be tickled pink if I could actually get that to work in the Mercedes steering column so that if you don't have the key in, the wheel will go click and then you can't move it anymore. I don't think I can accomplish that though, because Mercedes has sort of a fundamentally different system. But yeah, anyway, this should be as easy as this. Insert paperclip, mash it about, act like you're having fun, and then the whole thing just falls out. Why not buy a replacement Mercedes one? Because I'm not building a Mercedes, and I have my old VW key sitting around. So I went on eBay and I said, also, I'm not paying Mercedes prices. Jeez, what do you think I'm made out of? Time? Yeah, no, so I have my old Switchblade key from my Mark IV Golf. Jetta, my Mark IV Jetta. Panty dropper. This thing was awesome. I would like to be able to use it. This was $26 for this, for the whole assembly. If I can get the tumbler mechanisms out of this, it'll accept my key. I don't need it to be secure. This is for a giant like Playmobil, right? But when I do get this hooked up, I'll have the proper starting switch. Mercedes does it a different way. That square opening in the back of the steering column, if you look down there, there's a square hole, and at the bottom of the square hole, there's like flaps that are attached to the steering wheel shaft. So there would be a box that goes in there and probably a wire coming out of the box. And perhaps the car would say, hey, unlock the steering wheel, and it would do like a solenoid kind of thing. Yeah. The way this one does it is it connects right beneath the steering wheel, and it's got this big old chunk of metal, this big old hunkus of metal, where when you flip it into drive, or when you turn the car on, it flips that out of the way. And you can feel that happening in the mechanics, the mechanicals of the switch moving. So that pulls that out of the way. You start the car, drive around, you get to like Denny's or whatever the fuck it is you people do, and then you turn your car off, the wheel's still unlocked. Pull the key out, the wheel's still unlocked. Pull the key out all the way, pop. Now the wheel can lock. And if you don't actually, if you have one of those things still in the way and you turn your car off, you can still move the wheel until you move it out of the way just enough that it pops back up. So that's really cool. I don't think I can take advantage of that because I don't have the right steering shaft, but still. No, this is VW. This is VW. Volkswagen. The Volkswagen Audi Gruppen, whatever. Volkswagen Brake Technik. I don't know. I'm getting kind of frustrated with this because we really should have just stuck something in there and it would have fallen out. I have stuff that is close to a paperclip, but not quite a paperclip. I haven't been able to find a paperclip. I don't know where there's any paperclips in this room. I don't really use paperclips a whole lot. And so they tend to accumulate where they're used. It's not here. But the thing is, the size of the thing that I'm sticking in here should be enough that it can move that little toe out of the way, that little snail toe that this thing has. This is totally tearing up my hands. Man, this is another one of those days, another one of those lessons in, sure, it looks easy on YouTube, but when you actually try to do it, it's a whole lot different. What are you doing? This is the exact thing I have, but with, oh, they got the good key. I don't have the good key. What is that thing? It's like a plug. What does it do? What is it for? Why does it exist? What are you? Okay, okay, yeah, okay, okay, yeah, okay. All right. The humble drill. So you are doing this method. I may find myself doing the drill method in a minute. They've got like a coat hanger wire. That's like a big thick wire. Do I have a big thick wire? I mean, that's what the binder clip was supposed to be. This seems to be a little larger, and he is twisting and twisting. Okay, you've marked the distance. Wait a minute. Yes. Yes. What did you do off camera? Really? Really? Makes it look so easy. It's like a copper house wire. It seems like I do need a little bit of force on the thing, huh? Oh, and there is a hole after it, so if you go too far, it won't open up. Okay. That may be what we're running into then. I may be just going too far. If he's going this far, that seems like it's too far. And if I go this far, that's where I'm supposed to be. Let's try that. Problem is my little marking doesn't really work. Hold on. No, come back here. Come back here. Where did that go? Oh my God, it entered the cat dimension. Okay, I found it. Let's see, a little piece of tape, a piece of tape, little 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 piece of tape. No, if I bend the tool to the correct depth, then I can't twist it 180. I think I need to twist it 180 to get it to unlock the thing, because I need to put like a little nub in the end. Actually, I wonder if I could do a tool that's like that. So I go to the hole behind it and twist it around like that. Yeah, the jokes make themselves today. Oh God, I gotta get out all my trash and recycling before Julian gets here. I'm gonna look like an alcoholic slob. Julian's coming in tomorrow. We're gonna do some music stuff. He's got stuff that I need to repair. He's got like a MIDI doodad that's not doodadding. It's doodling instead of daddling. That's about the depth. There's the flag. Okay. The cat people are asking you to stop sending screws, resistors, and paper clips to the cat dimension. Our cats are overstimulated, and they're not getting the required 18-hour naps per day. The cat dimension thanks you for your attention in this matter. Okay, that's the depth. And I don't get any twisty motion unless I go a little further. I think I need more than 180 degrees in order to get this thing to kind of push down. So I need to get it fully around, and so it's getting in the way. So if I flatten it a little bit more, this may be the key, because it's a funnier method than we have. Just got to make it work. There we go. So I need this little doodad to point down. So in we go to the depth where it starts to be able to be turned. That going all the way to there? Nope. I should be so lucky as to have something work out. See, this thing would work just fine on the simulator as is, but it's not special. Can't use the other key. You need to have it in the locked position. Or sorry, not the locked position. You need to have it in the on position in order to reach this hole. That's step number one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that seems like it's right. But it's so wrong. I do not get it, chat. I don't get it. Yeah. Yeah, you got to personalize it, you know? That's why I wanted to use my old key. And then if we can get the key fob working, I can make it go book book when you go to, I'm like, ow. Yeah. So that was the whole point. This is supposed to go much smoother today, chat. This is, I mean, you watch a video and you go, hey, look at this. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. All you need to do is put it into the on position, and then you put a wire in there, you put a little thing in there, and you just kind of wiggle it around. And then Bob's your uncle, it just falls out. Right? That's all they did. Because it's just this little thingy that you need to get out of the way in order to remove the cylinder. That's it. Super easy. Bob's your uncle. No harm, no foul. We are 3 hours into that process. I have tried everything. is using gravity in his favor. He's poking at it from above. I'm about at the same angle. I mean, if you look at where he's inserting that thing, yeah, I'm sort of close. I don't think gravity is going to make that much of a difference. I can't see how putting a pin underneath collapses the bar. See how the holes are misaligned there? You got to bring it back into alignment. So there's probably like a VW tool that is the exact diameter and probably is a little pointy in the front. You stick that in there. Maybe I can find a little drill bit. Bang on the desk as you pull. I tried slapping it with a screwdriver. That didn't do it. Try that again, I guess. Hold on, let me find like a little tiny little screwdriver. That's it's too big, I think. I don't know. We're getting into the category of drill bit, rather. That's really too small for me to be playing around with like this. Now, you can drill into the side of that. Oh, that's just gonna, no, I'll never get that back. I'll never get that back. That one's way too short. That's like the length that I need to go in to get to the thing. Well, it will stick out a little bit, but I'm on the right half because there's only one place that it'll go in on the whole cylinder. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Nope, that won't do. That won't do. If anything, this hex key would have been the answer in that direction. Although this hex key, maybe I could sharpen it, and then it'll grab the other thing. Because the hex key gets in there. But I feel like it probably hits up against... I mean, is sharpening a hex key going to be the answer? Okay, so there's no other way, you know, this points up, it's not really going to help. Actually, the hex key sharpening might be the way. Yeah, I can't hold it any other way, but I really don't think gravity is going to, ow, jeez. My fingertips are like raw. I like poked at this thing and I hit a sharp angle. I think I hit this thing right here. It like hurt. Jeez. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my failed lockpicking channel where I can't even do the simplest of things. All right, we're going to sharpen this edge with a file. Actually, the file's probably not going to do much to this because it's probably hardened. But I'm going to take the edge off of it a little bit. Maybe it'll fall into that mismatch hole. iPhone SIM, what? What are you talking about? It is. This is something that I don't know. I don't know about. That's looking a little bit rounded. That might get me there. So yeah, there's a little notch right there. It's a little out of focus. There's a little notch right there. Take this into the first position, which is on, and then the notch aligns with the hole that gets you over here. And so I'm hitting up against something there. That's what should release it. Oh, there we go. Wait a minute. Do it. Dang it. Well, I got it to go to the second part, but motivational fart. That's what I get. That's what I get. My pristine, established, and very classy channel on Twitch I get farted at. This is maddening. This is just straight up maddening. Ah, ha, 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 ha. The hex key was the answer. So that finally got it. I think part of it was that the tolerances we're dealing with, you can see this is not OEM quality. This is more OE, so I think we had sharper edges on this. Getting a hex key, because it's hardened and it's exactly the size, and the fart blew it clear. The hex key is strong enough that it pulled the thing down. The edges were sharp enough that it had to be pulled down all the way. This isn't quite the size. It needed exactly the right size, and it needed something that would usher it into, because again, it's a hole and then an offset hole. And so what you're actually aiming for with something that's the same size is to somehow get that to move down. And so the way that people were doing it is they were using slightly stronger paper clips that I don't have access to, and putting a little edge in it so that when you twist that, it was enough to pull the thing down and push it down by you know, virtue of the shape of the hook on the end. I tried that many different ways. It didn't quite work. The hex key, I rounded the front of it. That was enough for it to penetrate and actually pull this thing down. So see that? Offset holes. This thing, working it in. Didn't quite do it, didn't quite do it. I guess somehow something smiled upon me. Maybe this thing was pushed down a little bit, but eventually this thing fell further in. Big W, now I can start stream. Fuck. Sucks. Oh yeah, it looks like it's pushed in just a little naturally. How did I get it to line up though? I don't know, something smiled upon me. Yeah. I got some favor from a god there. Cuz this thing is like stuck where it is. Sheesh. Now put it back and do it again. Yeah, not until I master the feel of it. But apparently this was key. No, this is key. This is the key. Okay, so where are the lock mechanicals? What the fuck? What is all this stuff? How does that work? What the? Does it just pop out? It looks like it pops out of this. Got to move the antenna so I can see more of the internals here. Certainly not getting into this any other way. And then this is probably just a rotatamaladle. Rotatorator. Yeah, because that just rotatamalates. I guess it... So if I rotate this to the right, it lets that go. And then if I do that, it's until I release it a little bit. So there's probably like another little piece in there that disengages the lock. But this one's just done by rotation. So that's just a simple mechanical thing. So it pushes in on it and it rotates it. And when it lets go, see, I can let go now and it doesn't do it, but I can also take it all the way to that position, but I have to keep this pressed in. When I unpress it, it'll pop back out. I don't know how that translates to the key all the way until the very end. How does that... I don't understand that, because I was able to pull the key out most of the way, and then when I do that, it'll suddenly pop. I guess maybe that mechanism puts pressure on this? I don't know. Cool. Weird. Cool. Oh, that's what this is doing. Yeah, see, that stays in until... Glad you got it. Now I can get back to work. It was very anticlimactic getting that thing out of there. So let's see if we can get into the mechanism of this thing a little bit more. I want to go a level deeper. So I need to figure out how to release the antenna here. Is it unscrewing? I think it just pops out, but I don't know how much force I can put into this thing. Wow, wow, no, no, no. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I think they're just pressed together. I don't know how to unpress them, though. I want to use like a gear puller. Probably could just 3D print something to put it back in there instead of the original. Yeah, I guess so, but I don't want it to feel like it's 3D printed. This feels like the real thing because it's metal. That's been sort of an unspoken requirement to some of these different pieces of this. Now that I'm not building a car, I'm building a simulator for a car. It needs to feel. Needs to feel right. It's rejecting me. It's rejecting my real key. So let's see here. There's like, I feel there's like a separate piece here that allows it to do this, but then when I twist it more, it like has more resistance. It's a very strange thing. And I guess this antenna is a one-piece thing. I can't take that apart. I would have liked to take a look inside of it. I assume that these are just pushed together. So if I were to put this in something and then grip the outside and push down on it, it would undo. I feel like I need a hammer for this. I happen to have one right here. I don't want to damage it, but yeah, there we go. I'm just too weak. Oh, it's a slip ring. Oh, fancy. It's got just like a ring in there to sort of attach it in place. So we'll have to make sure that goes back together the way that it came apart. It doesn't look like a damage. I think I did it exactly the way you're supposed to. There's no other real way to do that unless you have a shim. And then here's our lock cylinder looking like a little man. He looks like a little man. That's not the right, no, don't look at me. I'm not a little man. I'm a big man. Okay, camera's a little glitchy right now. So it captures the key with a bunch of these little different cylinders on it. Theoretically, we might be able to rearrange those so that we can actually capture my key. How do we get those out? That looks like an advanced tool. Oh, this is looking complicated. What else is there here? This might be one of those things where they put it together and it never comes apart because it's super special and cool. Put a dot on it right there. Because that's probably SL300. Yeah, there's the code for it. B37PH36295. I don't think there's a corresponding number on this, is there? It just says, it's just laughing at me. It's just laughing at me. Assuming that I can get to those plates, I could maybe retool this for my own stuff. No reason to remove the what? There's every reason to remove the plastic. What do you mean? I have every reason in the world to move that plastic in order to access this key. Oh, there we go. So it just comes out. It just comes out with a thing. Lock 101. Donk. We got to get that to happen. So I guess it just locks the key in by virtue of the fact that the key can't be removed when the walls are smooth. What's up, Dutch Media? How you doing? Bow, ba, na, na, na. Bow, ba, na, na, na. Wow. Those are pins. Don't mess with those. There's springs. What do you think we're... I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be calm. I'll be calm. I will be calm. I will be calm, and I won't fucking body chatters that are telling me not to do literally what I'm doing. Because the whole point is to do what I'm doing. So let's see how this lines up, because it's literally just a very small spring and a flat plate. Don't do it, though. Don't you do it. Don't you do what you know you're doing just fine already. So it's really these three that don't line up. The rest of it, I think that's serviceable. So that's not doing, and then that's not doing. So it's doot, doot, doot. So if I alter those, I mean, it's like a choice. I could alter it so that it'll accept my key, or I could, I don't know. Sounds like an OEM tech that doesn't want you to take apart their stuff. Don't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. You're not allowed to know what you're doing. I mean, I can literally just take those three out and then it will accept my key. The question is if it'll work the rest of the way. So let's just remove them to start with. This one. This one. Will they go back in the same order? No. Nope. Nope. Let's get the springs out too so they don't gunk up the mechanism. Give me spring. Take my pin tool for that. Your simulator won't be secure. Well, as of right now, I'm making it take these two keys that are sitting in front of me using fewer tumblers than the original number. It's a lot of tumblers on this thing. This would be a bitch to lockpick. Could be done, but it would be very annoying. Because they got smooth edges too, so smooth like our brains. Watch, the lockpicking lawyer can undo it in like a split second. So today we have a Volkswagen Mark IV key and oops, I just undid it. That's how those usually go. The second question, how do we get this back in alignment? Okay, there we go. And it still theoretically grips the key when this thing is back in position. Here, this thing is supposed to go in ahead of it. And that holds it all together. Yeah, see there it captures the key. Theoretically. Cool. It doesn't quite feel like you're going through because there's three missing elements that should be sliding against all the stuff that you're putting it into, but I bought this for $26 and a key to match, but now we have another key to match. I don't necessarily need to put those back in. It doesn't quite feel right when you're putting the key in. It feels a little bit more wobbly and loose. Feels a little bit more wobbly and loose. Could you trim the pins so they don't protrude outwards, but then you don't feel them? There's a certain feel, and again, this is me literally, I'm splitting hairs. When you insert the key, it starts making like a feel of all the things that you're hitting up against. This still makes a little bit of that noise, and if you try to move the lock too early, it doesn't move. So if you try another VW key, you might not get in. That's kind of funny. I can probably live with that. I can probably live with that. It feels a little bit like, yeah, it doesn't capture it as well. Because again, you know, we're missing three of the things. So but it probably wouldn't work with the other. I mean, they move in kind of a cascade too. Yeah, they're all kind of close to the middle, but not quite. Well, we do still have that first one, so that's pretty good. Because making one of these accommodate two would be a little bit more difficult. See, the way they work is... You can get one in the pliers here. These are covered in grease, so it's kind of gross. It's sprung from one end, and then it falls into this, and it has to go through all of the geometry of the key. I'm gripping a little... My grippies! Okay, there. And the geometry of the key moves it right and left until it's finally in the position where it matches, you know. So if I reposition them, maybe I could get it to match the other one. Or if I grind down the pin, it won't have that feel of traveling on this stuff. And it has to align with the center when you put your key in. That, like, I mean, you could just jump through that lock and you can just undo. You could get through this pretty easily if you were a lock-picking lawyer. You just move those things to the right and left until their little cylinders are... But it goes right, left, so I guess that'll have an effect too. Huh. That's fascinating. Totally fascinating. I think what I want to do is maybe just leave the plates out. It's not going to feel quite the same. You're not going to have the same amount of force preventing you from inserting and removing the key, but they are enough to lock the key in place because you've got some that are sprung from the right and some from the left, and I guess the things will like hold in. I don't know. So I guess I'm putting it all back together now. We've taken out 3 of the tumblers. Unfortunately, my key was not that close to the original. It would have been nice if it was like 1 or 2. 3 is pushing it. Doesn't quite feel right. Oh, now we can't do it at all. What's going on there? Hold on. That's upside down, that's why. No, where did that one go? That was in the back. That one was in the back. How do they do this from the factory? Probably just very carefully. Oh, is there no spring on you? That one has a spring. This one does not. The spring must have fallen as well. Let's get the spring back. Oh, another one fell out. Shit. Gotta be more careful. This is gonna be a little bit of a reassembly here. Oh, I see. I put it in upside down. That's why. That one goes that way. This one goes in the front. And then I can use the key to lock them all in place. Ugh. So I can be less careful about it. Okay. I wonder what the odds are of finding 2 cars that are the same key cut. Part of this system was to prevent that in a way, but the factory can only do it so many ways. I mean, there are only so many positions here coming from the right and the left. This just makes it easier to machine with an end mill. But if you know where those positions are, you can note them down. So it's probably not a huge like number of possible keys. And that with OEMs, that is a problem. With an OEM, you can have many cars that share the same key. And that's where all this electronic stuff comes into play. All the electronic stuff then prevents you from having any of your keys be similar to one another. It used to be you could buy like the Ford key set, and it was just like a binder full of keys. Yeah, with the immobilizer and the antenna that this thing has in it, that then allows for thousands of key combinations, hundreds of thousands. Ah, shit. Gotta, hold on. Keep all this together. then this thing is difficult to put in because it's got this massive spring that sort of holds it into place. And if I can put this on initially, I'll put these somewhere. I don't know where they'll go, but I can lock the barrel in with that and then work this in with the pin tool. Wow, no. From Monkey Wrench, I got that theme stuck in my head. I need something a little bit stronger. Whiskey! No, the tool that's a little stronger to push down on this thing. What pusher tool? What do we got? We got all kinds of pusher tools that aren't even for automotive purposes. No! My keys! Wait, I thought it held on to it when it was supposed to. Oh, it only holds on to it when the front's on there. Okay, yeah. Front can't fall off. Can you tell which pins are preventing it from working and trim them? You'd have to add material, so I'm just getting rid of the pins. The pins are out. We just sacrificed 3 of the 12 pins. Probably 3 of the, what was it, like 8? It was like 8 pins, but we don't have 3 of them in there, and it still works as a lock. It's just not as secure. Okay, without spilling everything everywhere. All the time, all at once. Yeah, so that's just got to fit in the groove. And then fit in that groove as well. So I need these two. Kind of an annoying mechanism to get back together. We could not start each other's trucks because of the immobilizer, but that was fun to be able to open each other's doors for prank purposes. Yeah, there's just so few for some car companies. This one has a lot of positions, probably just making it less pickable, but it's still pretty pickable. Oh, I have a whole ass screwdriver sitting right in front of me. This is a perfect tool. I don't know how I can get this back together easily. I can't hammer it because that'll hurt it. The spring's not, no, see, the spring doesn't do anything. The spring just returns this back to its original position. The pin is what fits in that groove. Not precisely, but well enough. And that can then hold the key in place because when you try to pull back, you hit up against that groove. Spring really doesn't do much. This is going to be one of the annoying things of all time. Getting this ring back in. Oh, how am I going to do that? If I had like a shim that I could put between these, but I don't have anything thin enough, I don't think. Thin enough to get in there. Yeah, see, and then there's a split in it too. Oh, man. This is what I'm up against. You got to keep pressure on it, but not enough pressure is to keep you from pushing it into the groove. And when you get it in the groove, you got to roll to the next position and get that in the groove. Keep rolling with it, and if you're lucky, Your hand starts to cramp up. Your vision goes blurry. When you wake up, you're in an alien spaceship. And they've done butt stuff with you. And you would have consented to alien butt stuff in a second. But they did it anyway, robbing you of an experience. And then you go to conventions and you go on forums. And you do your rounds. You make a little money on a book. And that is how you deal with a spring ring. My hand really hurts. Holy shit. You gotta get into that groove. And these Twitch guys have such weird names like Groovy something. Thank you, Questlove, for that piece of sage-like advice. My hands hurt. Oh, this is on all crooked. Ah, jeez. Whew. And that's how you repair a lock. I just got the tail end, but I'm pretty sure spring rings are easy peasy. This one actually turned out easier than most. This was not bad. It was hard to remove without thinking I'm breaking it, but at least it wasn't an E-clip or a split ring, whatever. I do have split ring pliers, but this wasn't a traditional one. Yeah, you're here at the end of this. What we did is, in order to get, I won't be able to get my screwdriver to be able to actuate this thing properly. I mean, maybe with some kind of Herculean effort and like a bunch of engineering, I could maybe do it. But the easiest thing for me to do in order to be able to use the panty dropper, AKA my Switchblade VW key with the simulator setup, was to remove 3 of the little thingy-wingies from the lock cylinder. These 3 prevented the 2 keys from working in the same lock. It now means a larger percentage of VW keys will be able to unlock my simulator. I don't need it to be perfect. I don't need it to be secure in any way. These are not secure anyway. So all that being said and done, I take this, I rotate it, I take a bite of a chip. How are you supposed to align? You go into that groove. Oh, the whole thing spins. Is there a keyway? I mean, it only was, oh, I see, those 2 little dots. There's 2 little things here. That's what's preventing your cylinder from just twisting. This is what keeps the thief out of your car. So these 2 go straight back there, and then the top rotates around. There should be, I mean, there's keyways in this cylinder that they don't use. Doot, 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 doot. Why wouldn't you use those? That would make my job so much easier. The mechanics in the audience laughing at me because it's probably something that they've said before. No reason, no rhyme. Okay, that was binding up. Like that. Is that, no, what position? Yeah, we're in the right position. That just seems a little bit far over, but I guess that's okay. I'm just trying to judge dropping this thing in here because there's all kinds of little greevils in there that I have to line up with all kinds of little greevils here in order for this thing to just kind of drop in. And there's like, these are supposed to help you line it up, but they didn't give me any of that. They said this will be too easy for the mechanic. Make them hurt. Ba 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 ba. There we go. Cool. And I can start it with this key, and it feels like a real starter because the spring that twists it that way is still the same one. It's in this part of the thing anyway, so that still works just fine. And I can get extra torque by unlocking what would make Flatulent Gonad wince, because apparently the pivot for this thing was made out of some form of hardened cheese. But it does hold on to the key. It feels a little janky. It feels a little jankier. With these three in there, all of them would be holding the key in. They're not there anymore. So I can use either of these keys to start my car. And if I put it into the first position, it holds onto the key. It doesn't let it go. And then I can start just fine. And I've got grease all over everything that I'm going to have to clean off. We will at some point, and I don't know when, we'll have to do a little bit of RF hacking on this thing, because I would like, now I don't care about the immobilizer antenna. That's not going to be relevant. Each of these have like an RFID in them that maybe we could scan, and it's not really that necessary. But at least so that I can go wook wook and the whole thing will flash. All the lights on it will flash or something. That would be very cute. Hey, that was cool. We learned something today. We didn't get to the gremlin-y kind of reprogramming of the drum pad. It took me way too long to find the proper tool to drop that little lock piece. In the end, it was not just the hex key that did it. It was the humble hex key with a rounded end. Even though this thing is hardened, it's made out of like Chinese cheese. So I took the cheese and I sharpened it a little bit, just to take the edge off of the corners of this, so that when I insert it into the thing, it was able to capture that little lever piece. Now, the odds of me being able to actually do this, so do it so it hinges down so it gets out of the way, right? So that's the start position. Get this out of the way, put the hex key in, and then this is the tough part, working it past that little lock that's going to hold it in place. I think, well, it actually might be past that already. There. Once it inserts a little bit more, then this thing comes out. Look at that. So going past it was fine if you have something that's just about the right size. But you need to sharpen it, because when the two holes are misaligned, you've got like an oblong hole that you've got to get through in order to release it. I told you guys it would be like butter the second time I did it. My fingers hurt so much from all of the different things that we stuck in my hole today. Just all manner of stuff in my hole. And then when you're putting it back, wiggling it a little bit is necessary because it needs to fall into place. And the whole lock cylinder, there, yeah, see, you got to kind of like, you got to work it a little bit. Time. It's like those gun disassembly videos. Beautiful. Okay, so we're good to go with this thing. This thing is now hacked into using both of my keys. Awesome. That's all it took. Now we got to figure out what the pinout is, but I think it's just a very simple switch. I think there's just a switch for each position that it's in, including off. All right. Well, I don't want to get into microcontroller-y stuff. I know we're a little early, but sometimes I end at 3:30. How are you going to mount it? There are two giant bolts at the top of it, so this fits around the Mercedes steering shaft. I don't know about the adjustable versus the non-adjustable. Push comes to shove, this will move with the rest of the wheel, or I could put it off on some other panel so that instead of just being slung under the wheel, it's like in a panel somewhere. But it's going to be near the steering wheel because it's funny. I don't think the lock mechanism is going to be working on the steering wheel though. But it'll have just about the feel of a VW key. It doesn't make that clicky, slidey feel from the very beginning. I regret that, but I can't do anything about it. Those three were misaligned. So, cool. Hey, that worked out. I'm surprised it worked out, but it did work out. And then this will speak to another module. It'll probably speak to a CAN bus module that'll blurt out what the status is. You know, car on, car start, etc. And I'll keep these in the drawer with all my other keys. All my other weird collection of keys and stuff. Is that this one? Close enough. These will just sit in here as a curiosity for whoever's putting my estate together after my death. Hell, I'll put my little removal tool in there too. There's one spring missing. Where's the spring? Where am spring? They're just sitting loosely in the drawer, so it's not, I'm not giving it that much reverence. It probably just fell on the floor and is gone. It's probably gone forever. What sim software? I'm not going to use sim software. I'm hoping to power it with OpenFFB. I think that's the one people use for a custom force feedback, because I had Granite Devices stuff, and Granite Devices abandoned open source. So I need to find a controller for open source, and I was looking at OpenFFB. OpenFFB speaks CAN bus, so my thought is, and I don't know if I've got the speed for it. Yeah, we're definitely missing a spring. I'm permanently missing one of the tumbler springs. I've got two of them in here. Two of them in this drawer. They're actually intertwined with one another. That's not good. Yeah, it went to the cat dimension, unfortunately. We've been sending too many weird things to the cat dimension. They've been requesting that we lose some cat treats. Yeah, I don't see the spring. It's gone. It probably made its way to the edge of the desk. I probably brushed it out of the way by accident. Usually when I work with like surface mount stuff, I can be pretty, oh, here it is. See, I can be pretty cavalier as long as I'm working in a particular area, and then we can find the stuff on the desk later. So that's gonna sit here where it'll become old and moldy. In the meantime, we're going to work on converting things over to CAN bus. So for instance, the drum pad that we've been working on, we've been making all the functions of this drum pad blurt out a serial print. Well, it's only a matter of a little circuit board to change that serial print into a CAN bus message. And then we have it monitoring that TX and RX for other CAN bus messages. For instance, backlighting. I have a BMW F10 headlight switch coming in the mail because that was also $27. It's like 30 bucks is about my limit of what I would be willing to spend on things for this. You know, I could get a whole gauge cluster, but those are like $1,000 because usually the gauge cluster is coordinating an entire bus. It's a whole ass computer. Of course, the seat that my brother dropped off, it's like $400 to $500 minimum. And that has a whole ass computer in it too that speaks CAN bus. $20-ish is about my spending limit because I've got all the stuff. We need to put in the work to convert it. So when this starts speaking CAN bus, we have a device that we can plug in to the rest of our network, which includes the automatic shifter that I'm not really going to use. It'll be on the rig. It'll be there. I'll maybe use it as like a pull handle with LEDs in it. Once we get this all speaking what we want, I'll have a couple devices that I can throw on the same CAN bus. With the Raspberry Pi, what I want to do is use Node-RED. Node-RED will allow me to route signals as Java flows from one end to the other. That might be abysmally slow, but supposedly it can speak 500 kbps CAN bus. So we were manipulating CAN bus via command line in Linux. Once I get Node-RED on there, I want to have inputs on one side, outputs on the other. All my other interactive things like, you know, lights and not sirens. We're not gonna squirt me with water. We're not gonna do sirens. But things like, you know, the fart noise maker and all that stuff. I could have a fart button finally. I could, or when you hit the P button, you pee in game. So that's the plan. Hopefully this advanced kind of routing in Node-RED will be fast enough. I think it will be, but I base that on nothing. My sources, I saw it in a dream. Yeah, I don't have the super luxury seats, Madam You. If I did, it would be able to vibrate. it would have like a massager in it. I think that the super luxury seats have that kind of thing. I want to say that there has to be seat heating in there because it's a BMW, right? Shouldn't we have seat heat in a BMW? The computer controls all that, and hopefully we can find the CAN bus message that it needs to turn on the heater. Things like, like the seat back height, that's controlled by some other system. It needs a CAN bus message. The motor's there. You just need a CAN bus message to move it up and down. So that'll be interesting. You guys will be trying to fold me into a pretzel while I'm trying to drive somewhere. Okay, well, that's it for content. Content is now dead. At some point, I'll crimp just a DuPont connector to go into this, and then we'll have all the wires coming out, and we can see, what the different positions are. But I'm so happy that this worked out. I wish I didn't have to remove as many of the tumblers on this thing, because it really does feel a lot less like you're inserting a key. There's supposed to be like a little pushback, a little bit more pushback than what I'm getting. But I'm just gonna have to ignore that. I'm gonna have to ignore that and just deal. It does still work as a lock if you don't put the key in all the way. So I won't be able to use my my universal key. I used to have a more comical flathead. It was wider, but I can't use that. I'm okay with that though. If I really want to, I could remove all of the tumblers and then it wouldn't hold on to the key at all. And then you could just turn it on and take the key out. And if you needed to turn it off, you turn it off again. It would essentially just be a switch. But I like the feel. So we get a tiny bit of the feel, all the functionality. Good stuff. Good stream. I like that. That was a lot of fun. I hated the first part of the stream though. VOD watchers. Oh, if you're hearing this, you're at the end of the stream. Damn it. Should have told you guys to skip ages ago. Look for the part where I finally pop the thing out. There will be a technical difficulties screen. Just skip that whole part. Okay. Julian is here tomorrow. I will be streaming tomorrow. I know today is a little bit short. I'll make it up by having Julian here tomorrow, and we can do more CAN bus hacking. We'll probably do more repair and fixing of his musical stuff that he broke. These guys break their synthesizers in ways that I cannot fathom. So we'll get to the bottom of that tomorrow with Julian here, and it'll be a madcap time. Nobody's going to be here because nobody's going to be at work, right? That's where everybody watches me from. The timing is totally wrong. Here's the end card. I will be back tomorrow. But if you need a link to my Discord, that's pretty much the only social media that I'm on these days, which is actually pretty healthy. If I had a blue sky, I would be tweeting about the things that I do off camera, or blue skying, or skeeting, is that what they call it? I think the creator hated that. Anyway, I don't have it. It got hacked. So, oh well, oh well. If only I could be rotting my brain with that thing. No, I'm gonna rot my brain with my dog. I'm gonna go take the dog for a walk. It's first day of spring. It's beautiful out. We've already been out twice. I'm gonna take her out again. Then I will be on Discord and other streamers' streams, but not as a participant, not as like a special guest. I'll be in their chats where they will be lamenting the fact that it's so easy to get a partner badge. That's what I feel a lot of these guys feel when I'm typing in chat. Like the first couple times I say something, they're really excited. Oh, Short Lurker, you missed a lot of VW stuff today. We took 3 of the little tumblers out of this thing so that it can take the key that it came with and my old VW key with the panty dropping switchblade. But yeah, this thing now works with my old VW key, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't even need, okay, you saw, I wouldn't even need the little transponder antenna so that it can read the RFID tag on the key, but this is the front face of the key cylinder. Without this, the whole thing falls apart. Wait a minute, that's kind of interesting. Hold on a second. I could have pried this off, and this would have fallen apart, but it would have exposed the hole that I would need to put a tool through. We could have saved a lot of time if I had just taken the screwdriver and hammered this forward, and the whole thing would have come off. Oh man, why did I realize that? Now I feel bad. Should have known all along. I could have just dropped that plastic piece. I have a miniature gear puller I could have used on it. That would have maybe not harmed the plastic at all as much. But that would have dropped the whole cylinder. I could have just, and it would have just come right out. Oh well, my specialty hex key, the only tool that I have that works for this, is now in the drawer with all of my other keys. So, God forbid I need to do this again, but that was a nightmare. All right, I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I'm just gonna like end the stream, I think. I don't know if there's anyone in particular that I'd want to raid right now. We've raided Rabaz recently. Well, recently for me. Any of the knowledge people? Carhole is on. You guys could go check out Carhole. Garrick Durak. That's not in English. Other than that, oh, John Beta is doing Drummond Boss. Rabaz is playing possibly the most tear-jerkingly boring game and somehow still has 555 people watching. What the hell? Did you check out Bentley to see what the mechanics method of removing it? No, I did not. The first video that I saw, well, no, the first video that I pulled up today said that they were just like, drill right here and then push down on the thing and remove it. What we did is we took a hex key because they're a little bit more sturdy and sanded it so that it was a little bit rounded in the front. And then I kind of wiggled it in and that released it. If you have something that's pointed, that is the right diameter, you force that into the cylinder in the second, or in this position, you force that in, and if it's pointy, it will grab what it needs to and expand until both cylinders are in alignment. And then that will allow you to wiggle it out and it'll fall out. That's really the way that you should do it. Taking off this plastic would have been an alternative method where I would expose the hole that I'd need to get to in order to push that thing down and remove the rest of it. So either of those work. Pulling on the plastic is going to wear away on your plastic. So that's probably not the best way to do it. And most of the time, what people want to do is just pull the cylinder out, put a different cylinder in, or move the cylinder to another one of these things where all the switches work. That said, it seems pretty robust. It seems pretty reliable. Hammer and a screwdriver. I tried everything, man. I tried everything, man. Also, if you're trying to boost a VW and you somehow have gotten through the electronic code lockout with the Q, whatever the hell the RFID lockout is, you could pop this, drop the cylinder, turn it on with a screwdriver. It's such a pain to boost cars these days. You need, where did it go? You need more of this thing than you need this thing. A little bit more of this than this, but you still need both. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Everybody out.